guys. Hope you guys are all doing good. Yeah, we just thought we'd go live. Rob got back this morning from the 500, and so we thought we'd just kind of answer any questions you guys had about the race, about the trip back and forth. Just kind of go over, answer a lot of your questions. Yeah, or just bullshit. Hi from Indianapolis.
Hello.
Jeff, did you have a chance to watch the 500 at all?
I'm sure we did. I'm sure everybody did.
Some people might not have watched it. Maybe they had to work or.
I mean, listen to it.
This is true. Oh, Chiefs, what's your favorite driver? Well, since Rob is on Chase Briscoe's team, we obviously, our favorite driver is Chase Briscoe. So we definitely have a lot of skin in that game, so to speak. So outside of Chase Briscoe, then any of the Stewart-Haas drivers would be next. And then after that, I guess it just kind of depends. We don't really have any favorites after that. So,
No.
yeah. So that's kind of what we like to do for that. Jeff, you said good, you loved it. So did the person that you were rooting for, did they win? Or how did they do? Who were you rooting for, Jeff?
I don't think anyone rooted for Stenhouse.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people rooted for Stenhouse. But, it happens. Oh, Chiefs, I like all Stewart-Haas drivers. Well, awesome.
No, that's good.
But we're going to say that your favorite is Chase Briscoe just because that's what we're going to say.
Yeah.
Jeff wants to know, is Tony as cool as he seems to hang out with?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Tony is really cool. He absolutely is. What you see is kind of how he is. He's very loyal to his people. He's very good to anybody that works with him. Rob was fortunate to be able to be his driver his last season and win with him and stuff. So not only does he work for Tony, he also was part of Tony's team when Tony was racing. So that was a really cool experience for it.
Yeah. Especially when you grow up watching them too. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, let's see. Nick says, when do you leave to go to the auto club?
Oh, for all close to tomorrow.
So, yeah, so he got in this...
I got back to the shop at 5:05.
This morning.
Yeah.
So 5:05 this morning.
And I left at 9:30 because I did some little, stayed and unloaded and
yeah,
did
so
stuff.
He got back around 5:30 in the morning. Did
5:05.
5:05, my bad. Got some stuff done because they are leaving tomorrow for Fontana.
5:05.
Yes, 5:05 to be
That's when I pulled the brake.
Very
and hit,
specific.
and hit.
Stop on your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chiefs. Kevin Harvick's my favorite driver. Kevin's pretty cool. We've been fortunate over the years. We've been with the 14 car now for a number of years. So we've been with Kevin for a number of years as well. And Kevin is very cool. So how do you feel, Chiefs fan, about Kevin retiring? Is that a little bittersweet? And who's going to be your new favorite driver with him retiring? Let's see. Nick, I'll be at the West Coast swing races, Fontana, Vegas, and Phoenix. So will he.
Well, I won't leave Fontana. I'll fly back Friday.
Yeah, so for Fontana, he will. They're leaving tomorrow for Fontana, and then going to. He takes so they'll get in Thursday. Him and his co-driver. He will fly back Thursday on a red eye back to Charlotte. And then on Tuesday, take the swap out truck over to Vegas. So he won't be working the Fontana race.
Which is good because they're calling for nothing but rain.
Yeah, they're already talking about heavy rain and all that stuff.
Except Sunday looks good, but Friday and Saturday not
so practice,
good.
qualifying, all that will be...
It looks like it may be a wash, but I've been there, done that.
Yeah. So weather could be interesting again.
We're always like, just let it go, let it rain.
Well, you don't want this to get put. Well, I guess it doesn't matter.
No. I meant like Saturday.
Oh, Saturday, let it rain.
If it's going to rain, do it right.
Yeah. That way you guys can go ahead and head out.
Yeah, but then you got to push that shit around in the downpouring rain, which is not fun either.
No, that wouldn't be fun at all.
And I got more cleaning to do.
Yeah. So you've got to get, so you'll go back on, and so on Monday at the shop, what all do you guys do since the hauler and the 14 car is already going to be?
I'll be sitting right here at this house.
Oh, so you're not having to do anything with the swap out?
No,
trailer.
because it's going to be out there in Fontana taking the stuff out there for, to take to Vegas.
So then you'll just have to load up the 2 cars.
And that truck will get back Tuesday, so we'll have to unload that.
So you're going to flip it on Tuesday.
And then leave.
So they'll have the 2 cars ready to go, or the 4 cars, ready to go.
Actually, we're taking the 6 because I think we're taking 6 cars out there.
So you're taking the 4
two backup cars and 4 cars.
So what happens if, let's say, so you've got the 4 cars and the 2 backup cars. What happens if 3 cars wreck out prior to? Is it first come first serve with the swap out cars?
Yeah, and I guess you got to rebuild the rest of them with that cart that we have.
Yeah. So what they have on the hauler is what he in his hauler they bring is obviously the 14 car, but then also talk about what is the cart that you guys have with like
everything.
So anything to rebuild.
I unloaded this morning to make sure it had 3 weeks worth of shit on it.
So that would be anything for engines or just body parts?
No,
just the body parts.
Body parts.
Okay. So,
Good God.
Let's see where we're at. Sorry, guys, we started. So, do you get to go? So, Jeff wants to know if I get to go with him anytime. So, the answer is I can go to any of the races. So, from that standpoint, yes. But like with this West Coast swing, there it's him and his co-driver because obviously the number of hours it takes to drive. So, in that case, then any race. You can hear our dogs in the background. Any race that the 2 of them have to go, and then I would go in a separate vehicle, fly or whatever. If it's just him, then I can ride with him. But I usually kind of go separate. That way, if there's
then we have a car there.
Yeah, so we have a car there. Again, we have kids, we have animals, we have that kind of thing. So
then we don't have to use the rental car because everybody else will use it. So we'll have our own vehicle.
Yeah, that way. They do get a rental vehicle when they're there. But that's why it's nice for us to have our vehicle there to help them out. So, of course, the dogs all of a sudden go start barking. And that literally is the dog that never barks. That is our husky. We've got 4 dogs, and our husky never barks. And of course, now that we're going live, she's going to start barking at us. So, anyway. Yeah, Steven, 7-hour drive from Daytona, Atlanta. What a race. Stenhouse lucked his way into it. Yeah, he did, didn't he?
It took me 7 hours to get back.
Yep, took him 7 hours to get from Daytona back to Charlotte. So.
Minus the 3 hours it took me to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw his TikTok where they just sat because of all the traffic, meaning to get out of the racetrack.
They let us back out of our spot, and then we pulled out onto the track and just sat.
I don't know if you guys got a chance.
I started pulling out of the track. It was 10:01 when I pulled out the gate.
10:01.
And yeah. It was 5:05 when I pulled back to my spot.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys got a chance to see his video that he posted when he got out on the track and was on his way out. But I always find it interesting with Daytona, the angle of the bank that they have. I don't think you can truly appreciate it until you can see it in that kind of a setting. Because on TV and stuff, it just doesn't look quite as steep. But, like on your video or when you're there.
Look up, I'm holding the phone up like that.
Yeah, it's, it makes you understand that when they're working, when they're working up on the top part of it, that they have to be strapped in.
Yeah, harnessed.
Yeah, harnessed in. That's kind of a funny thing. So. Sorry, the dogs. All right. How do you get, let's see. Smoke. Tony was my driver. Yeah.
To get a job, you got to know somebody.
Oh, sorry, Rich. How do you get into driving for NASCAR? Yeah, so basically the way it is, it's kind of hard to get in because first of all, there is not a lot of turnover. Once people are in, they tend to stay in and tend to retire out of it. So you do tend to stay there and do that for a long time. Like the people that, Rob's worked with, most of them have been there for 20 plus years. Outside of that, it's a matter of getting to know somebody that's in it because they don't typically post on their website that they're hiring. It's
word of mouth.
Yeah, it's word of mouth. It's, hey, I think so and so might be retiring. Do you know somebody that would be a good fit?
Hey, you come drive with me.
Yeah, or yeah.
Usually that's what it is. And so then if you go somewhere else, such and such will be like, hey, you want to come ride with me? So it's basically, if someone does leave, it's kind of like a snowball effect, but nothing really changes. It's the same people, just maybe with a different team.
Yeah. Is there anything that you can say, like, do they look for a number of years experience? Is it that they need to have certain kind of...
They won't even touch you if you don't have, I mean, I would say a minimum of 5 years over the road. I'm just guessing. I don't know, but I had well over that when I got in it.
Yeah.
And I've been in it for 13 years?
Yeah.
Or 10 years? 10 years.
10 years, yeah. So I know that doesn't really help, but unfortunately that's the truth of it. I mean, that's, when he first got the phone call, he was up in Maryland. I
had 2 weeks I got a call because I knew someone in it, and they asked if I wanted to come ride with them or come drive with them, and I said, well, yeah, because I've always wanted to do it. And so I sent him my resume, and about 10 minutes later I had a phone call, and I had to be to Charlotte in less than 24 hours for an interview. And then I was like, the interview I guess went well, and then I got back the next day. I got a call to come down and do a drug test. I did that. And then, then that was on a Friday. So I had, I done missed 2 days of work with that. And then they offered me the job, but I had to start in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Or over the Christmas holiday.
Yeah. So I only had 2 weeks. It was take it or leave it.
Yeah.
So, that was 2 weeks, and that was it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If you ever get the opportunity where you get the call, you have to be living in this area.
Or it's, because then had kids to move, a house to sell, change schools, all in, a couple weeks, and then, because at that point when I got in it, we were testing still in the off season, so that's the way it is. And then, especially if you don't have any, and for a while there, they did have some people retire and had quite a few openings a few years back, and they had to go down the route with people with not much experience, and it didn't work out well.
Well, what I don't think a lot of people don't realize is that when you are a NASCAR hauler driver, that it's not a matter of...
You don't sit there and watch the race like a lot of people think, or just get there and go to the hotel. That's
actually the smallest part of what you do.
If you're told that, it's a lie.
Yeah, basically, I mean, you're working, like in his case, either him or his co-driver, depending on who's there, will work, catch the front right tire on pit row. So you're working, the pit line. You are loading, unloading, you're hauling
like
stuff.
When we're not in a pit stop, I'm back in the garage loading the truck, and you got to sprint back if something happens. You got to do that. And then, and like a prime example, I was up 4:00 yesterday morning, and I got off at almost 10 o'clock this morning because I had to switch I had to turn the truck around.
Yeah.
Some of it. So, I mean, you figure that's basically 28 hours.
Yeah, I mean, basically what ends up happening is on like what happened with the 500 is his co-driver brought the trailer or the hauler down and worked Speed Week, and then arrived on yesterday morning, flew down in the Stuart Haas plane with the pit crew. Got down there 9 something in the morning, and then what he's supposed to do at that point is really just crawl into the sleeper and try to sleep. But imagine in the middle of the Daytona 500 trying to sleep through it all. So I mean, you do the best you can do because you have to, because you physically need to get the rest.
And then it's but a lot of people I've seen come that they think, oh, this isn't what I thought. I'm going, I didn't get to watch. Yeah, there's times where I have to call her and who won.
Yeah, a lot of times he won't know. If he's not on the line, he won't know who won. Or even where they're placing at that point. It's very common.
I'll text her, where are we at?
Yeah. So, a lot of it is that. And so, when they did go through that period of time when people were maybe not as qualified or hadn't been driving quite as much, and they would, they did hire them, what they were finding is that people just didn't understand the amount of work separate from the driving that had to be done.
And driving's the least amount we actually do. So
I hope that answers a little bit of that. So let's see here. Dakota, how was everyone's night after a wild Daytona? Well, his was busy. He was driving, obviously.
Yeah.
Backdraft. Who's going to replace Harvick?
Don't know.
You could tell us, because there is no scuttlebutt. There is no...
Honestly, we were really the last to know. I mean...
Yeah. Usually what ends up happening is, I'll hear things or see things on the media, like the kind of like the rumor mill, the scuttlebutt kind of thing, and then before they ever hear anything. And I'll say, hey, this is what, what's on the ground.
And then you'll be like, did you hear it? And I'll be like, I didn't hear it.
9 times out of 10, I'll hear things more faster than he will.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't read a lot of stuff. When I'm home, I don't watch a lot of stuff with racing when I'm home. Like, she likes to watch, like, the Race Hub and all that. And just kind of, I don't pay any attention to it. Because, I mean... I go 30 some weeks a year.
Yeah, it's a little bit different when you figure, like with the West Coast swing, he'll be in some form of work, whether it's driving or it's at the race or at the hotel or whatever, for 3 weeks straight. So, at that point, as with any job, you don't eat, sleep, breathe it every day.
I mean, it's different when you first start. It's like, oh, this is, but now, I mean, it's just a job like any other job, in my opinion.
But I'm gonna put this out there. He's very humble, and he says that it is like every other job. I mean, it is like every job. However, who did you sit with yesterday and chit chat with? Pitbull. And it's not even it's not even a big deal. So, there are some things that are a little bit different than, I don't have Pitbull hanging out with me at work.
I mean, I just say it like that. I mean, I see these people every week, so it's not like, and it's, everybody kind of gets to know who, you may not know them personally, but they know who you are, and,
Well, like Blake Shelton, he anytime he's at the track, he's in their hauler, so it's common for him to see him all the time, kind of deal. So, there is some kind of cool things separate from being at the race and, having that whole...
I mean, yeah, I enjoy it. It's got, but, am I lucky? Probably, yeah.
You get to do some cool things.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Hi from Connecticut. Chiefs. I mean, when he retires, I'll probably like Priest over Briscoe. We're just going to say, Chiefs, that you're going to like Briscoe. That's what we're gonna say.
Priest ran fucking good yesterday.
Priest ran very. Actually, he's run good the last two.
Yeah, I mean,
he did well at the Clash. It wasn't his fault that the battery went shit.
Speedway races are just a matter of surviving who's alive at the end. That's basically what it amounts to.
Well, and it sucks because all of a sudden, within basically one wreck, the three of the four Stuart Haas vehicles,
and then the next one, the fourth,
and then the next one, there goes Eric. So. At that point, all of us that were watching, because
It was a fucking shit show trying to unload all that shit that cars this morning. God.
Well,
almighty.
I noticed Stuart Haas had posted Priest's vehicle was already completely, all the, by the time, today they showed a video of most of the vehicle already taken apart and being rebuilt.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
Priest's was looking pretty rough.
Yeah, that one, he hit hard.
Yeah.
Ours was on casters too. It didn't have any right side wheels on it because it was on casters.
Yeah.
It was the right side. You didn't see it in the video that I posted, but it had no right side on it. But stuff like that we can't show with like out the body on it and all that. So
right, yeah. Let's see. How many miles does your truck have on it? Do you even know?
This is the oldest one in the group because it's got that generator on the back of it. It's got 300 some thousand miles on it, but we're getting a brand new one. Typically, every 2 years we get a brand new truck. Usually, they don't even get 200,000 miles on them, and then we get new ones.
Yeah.
But we have a brand new one that's coming in. It's supposed to be in June or July, and then it'll go up to Wisconsin to get the custom sleeper put on it and the showers put in it and all the plumbing run through it for all the sinks and the satellite dishes for our DirecTV and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Their sleepers, the larger sleeper's really nice. It's a full apartment basically.
Yeah. Ours is nice. It's just smaller, but that's only because we had that slide out on the trailer.
Yeah, you got that extra bump out. Let's see here. Yeah, Nick, I know Saturday doesn't look very good. Wow, it was 65 and sunny today out here. Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We were just watching the Weather Channel trying to figure out, because one of the things when he was out there at the Clash, that was during all that bad weather, in Texas, and so it was like, oh, we're gonna go 40, we're gonna go 20, we're gonna go 10, we can't get around it, so
yeah, so we just went to bottom anyway.
Yeah, so went 10 and still ended up with ice all over the trailer and everything. So
yep.
That just, for me, it makes me nervous, but I'm sure it makes it, I'm sure you guys were nervous with it too and stuff, so.
Well, yeah, we got millions and millions of dollars worth of shit on that thing.
Yeah, you guys have a lot of responsibility with that. So, hi from Texas. What part of Texas you from? Because it won't be long and you'll be in Texas.
Oh, Coda, yeah.
Yeah, for Coda. Let's see here. Jeff wants to know, do you load the trucks?
Yes.
So what?
We load, unload. Only thing we don't load is the car. We help load the car, but as far as everything else, like those videos you see, everything that's in it, we have to load it and unload it. Like I got back 5 o'clock this morning and had to unload that whole thing. And it was, at that point, it was just me there, because the other couple drivers were unloading theirs, so, and nobody was at the shop yet.
Yeah.
So, and then I started work, and then when they came in, we unloaded the cars. Like, we don't unload the cars by ourselves.
Yeah, no, that would be too much. Yeah. Shouty just got home from Daytona 500 weekend. Oh, so did he.
Yeah, me too.
When do you leave for Fontana?
Tomorrow.
So tomorrow they will leave late afternoon? Something like that?
Sometime tomorrow afternoon. Like I said, most of the trailer is done now. I'd stayed this morning for 4 or 5 hours and worked on it. My co-driver flew home last night, so I stayed and did that, and he'll go in tomorrow morning and finish it, and I'll go in late. He'll call me around lunchtime and let me know about when it'll be ready, and then I'll go in and I'll drive the first shift tomorrow. Yeah,
so you'll drive the first 10?
Yeah.
All right. Do you work for Stuart Haas?
Yes.
Yep, he drives for Chase Briscoe, the 14 car. Let's see. Smoke, I just got parked in Birmingham.
Nice.
How long did y'all sit in traffic afterwards because of all the roadblocks? Ooh.
Well,
he was not happy about it.
I didn't get... God, what time was the race over? Hell, see, I don't even know. You don't even know what time the fucking thing's over.
I don't even remember
know what time it was over.
Yeah, I was going to laugh at it.
But I didn't even... They let us start backing out of our spots at 9. And for all, I read a lot of the questions, but I had so many of them. I haven't got it, what the heck. Now I'll have more time this week when I get to the hotel and all that to answer your comments. It may be a couple days, but I'll get to them because there's so many of them. But
Yeah.
I did get to a few before I fell asleep on the couch earlier.
Yeah. So one of the questions that people were asking, and you can,
The order.
yeah, it's like how. Okay, so
There's no order when we leave.
and what we're talking about is when the race is over, they're all packed up. The back's all closed up. How do they know who goes at what order?
You just go. You just start. Typically, I'll whoever's parked next to me, if they're standing outside their truck, and I'm sitting in them, am I clear behind me? And they'll look back there, and just say, yeah, you're good, and I just back out and get the hell out of there.
But that was a little bit different for Daytona.
Huh?
It was a little bit different for the 500 because you guys had to wait, and they lined you guys up in different lines.
Oh yeah, for that. But I mean, like our spots, there's no. There's no order.
Yeah.
It doesn't. As far as getting out. Now parking, there's an order when we go into park, but leaving, you just go out.
So how does the order work with parking? Is it based on points? Okay. And then they keep the teams all together, so you're always with
when you see Stewart-Haas, like the 4 Gibbs trucks or 4 Stewart-Haas trucks or your 3 Penske trucks or whatever. Whoever's the highest in points in that group is the first one of that group to park. Because we're still going off last year's points.
Right.
So we finished the highest at Stewart-Haas. So the 14 truck parked first. Then it's the 4, the 10, and then the 41 out of our group.
So does it go that way the whole season, or does it? At what point does it then?
5 races in, it'll flip to this year.
Flip to this year's
or
points.
It used to be 5. It may. I can't remember what it is now. Maybe it's 3 or 4. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just look at the list.
You just know when.
NASCAR emails me a list. So emails all of us truck drivers a list. So and we just look at it and just kind of know where to fall in line when we go into park.
Very cool. Looks like there's a couple people that have people that they know that works for Stewart-Haas. So that's cool. And the funny thing about it is you'll probably say what their names are, and
I won't know.
And he won't know what their names are because with most of the teams they all go by nicknames. And so, like for me, we'll have people on our Facebook page, for instance, and they'll say something, and I'll have to ask him who is this, and he'll say, oh, it's blah blah blah, and I only know most of them as their nickname. So it's kind of funny how that all works. So.
But yeah, as far as getting out, it was. I guess, like I said, it was 10 o'clock when I pulled out of the back. A little after 10 when I pulled out of the backstretch gate, and then got out, and then I did sit in a little traffic before I got on 95, because I went down around by the flea market, looped up, and got on 95. That way.
Is it hard to get out of the 500, out of the Daytona Raceway?
No.
So it's pretty easy to get out.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, it's huge.
Well, I mean, I know size-wise, but I didn't know if there's any kind of like weird things like Atlanta, for instance, that has a generator in the middle of, freaking.
No, not Daytona.
Oh, hey, Brandon. Let's see. Traffic into the race was awful on Speedway Boulevard. Oh, was it, Steven? Yeah, I saw your video. It looked like you had good seats, so that was pretty cool. Let's see, Shadow. Steven, after it was so much worse because they had the roads blocked off. Oh.
Yeah, it was but that's why they held us so long, because they said it was so gridlocked out there. That's why they normally don't hold us that long.
I was going to say, normally it seems like when the race is over, you usually can get on the road.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll sit in traffic some, but, normally they don't hold us as long as, we sat. I think we got out of there. I think I was loaded. A little after 7, I was loaded, so it was 3 hours before I ever even got to pull out the gate.
Yeah, which is rare.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's usually usually an hour and a half, maybe after the race or so. We're usually, going out or gone.
Yeah. Well, and I guess each track is just a little bit different. So
yeah.
Let's see. Oh, hi from upstate New York. You'll be in New York in a few months.
Yeah, in August.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Watkins Glen. Hello from Arizona.
Hello.
Hey, you'll be in Arizona. Yeah. Actually, in what, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Whoa, sorry, Kat just jumped off where we have this. let's see. Are you wearing a Chase Elliott shirt? No. Look at the Chase Elliott. What the heck? Look. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's Chase Briscoe. That's one of the shirts that
sprint car shirts.
It's his sprint car shirt. So what's Chase
he
Briscoe
gives us a lot of stuff. So
he is Rob's had the opportunity to work for quite a few drivers, and Briscoe is very very good to his team as well. So we definitely are blessed in that way. But yeah, so anytime he has one of his sorry. Thank you for those roses. That's awesome. We really appreciate it.
What's a rose?
It's a TikTok thing.
Oh, okay.
We appreciate the roses. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so anytime that Chase is doing any of the other races, the sprint car or any of that type of stuff, he's always saying, "Hey guys, come on over and cheer me on," that kind of thing. So they definitely have some fun times outside of the racetrack. Sometimes it's a different racetrack, but yeah.
Met Briscoe a few times.
Yeah, met Briscoe. Yeah, a few times. He is sweet, isn't he, Shadows? He, it's very cool because he's very humble. He doesn't have that chip on his shoulder that he can't. So Rob will never say anything like this, but some of the younger kids that are coming up into racing now have a bit of a chip on their shoulder, so to speak. And so you don't see any of that with Chase. He's just really humble, down to earth, just a really good guy. So that's cool. So Mortician wants to, do you hang out with the other hauler drivers? Well, you hang out with the Stewart Haas drivers.
Yeah.
Hauler drivers.
Yeah.
So they'll go out to dinner, they'll hang out. So the way
I'm friends with a lot of them, but we don't. Usually, typically, most of us, when we're away from the track, we don't hang out. We see each other every week. I don't guys from the other team. We'll text, but we don't go. And plus, I don't live near Charlotte, so
we're about an hour and a half away.
I'm about an hour and a half away, and I have no desire to live down that way. I like living out in the middle of nowhere where I live now. I'm actually my driveway to Martinsville Speedway is 28 minutes.
Yeah, so Martinsville.
I live way up the road.
Yeah. But the way it kind of works is that when they are on the road, obviously it is the team. So Briscoe's team does stuff together. So they'll go to dinner, or they'll, when they were in LA, they were in a video game, what do you call it, air hockey tournament, and they went to the it was Santa Monica Pier. They'll go out and do things like that together. They'll go hiking, go biking, whatever. And then shooting, yeah, all things like that. And then separate from that, the hauler drivers, because a lot of times they are out there.
We'll hang out on unload nights when we stay in the truck.
Yeah.
Some nights we'll all hang out. Sometimes we'll cook out, or we'll kick back and have some beers together and just bullshit some. You know what I mean? But as far as outside of the track, I don't know if a whole lot of us really. There may be some, but...
Well, you guys spend more time with each other, realistically, than you do your families.
Yeah.
And so when they're not at a race, us family people, we want our time too, so...
Yeah. They have parties for us and stuff, and, that's for, us SHR drivers. We're all together at that kind of stuff. And sometimes people don't even go to that. They just... The off-season, they just want... I don't work much during... I take all my vacation in the off season. In December, I'm not even ever at the shop because I take the whole month.
Yeah, off. For us, December is when we do our vacation. In the summertime, I'll take the kids in our family and stuff, and we'll go do a vacation for the family. But our time, because he can't obviously take time off during season's 9 months long. That's our time. So that we'll go on a cruise or we'll go on a vacation, just the two of us. Which at that point is very much needed for both of us. So let's see here. Dawsonville, Georgia. Oh, is that where Elliot's from? Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing you're probably an Elliott fan since you're from his hometown.
Likes the pool hall.
Yeah, probably hangs out the pool hall there. Let's see, Bill. I'll say Larson will leave Henrik and go work for Tony. Ooh.
No, he just signed an extension.
Yeah, I thought he he's got a couple years on his extension.
26 or so.
Yeah, so
like
he's
that.
yeah.
I mean, I
It'd be great.
I don't know. That's way above me.
Yeah, that would be great if Larson came, but I'm thinking no, probably not. I know Fords were all fast yesterday, and we were looking great in practice, and so.
Yeah, I know Justin.
Oh, you know Justin?
Mm-hmm.
So he knows Justin. So there you go. Hi guys. Let's see here. Taking the 40 to California or the 10?
Don't know yet. We'll figure that out. We'll figure that out tomorrow when we pull out the shop. We'll look at our.
It's the weather. It's a winter storm going on out in the West Coast, and unfortunately, it's going to be on Wednesday. It's going to be in the Flagstaff area, and that. So there you go.
That is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll take snow over ice.
Yeah, but it still definitely has it's going to have its challenges. That's for sure. Let's see. How long have you driven for SHR?
I've been SHR since 2015.
Yeah. So it's been a few years. We know we love Stuart Haas, so
yep.
No, we're very happy there. Do you guys get to hang out once you get to the track, or do you have other jobs to do with the team? Yeah, they have other jobs.
We don't just hang out.
No, it would be nice if that was what they could do, but no, they're literally working from the second they get to the track or the garage opens up.
When we get there, we park. We have to, because it's just us. The team's not there yet, so we unload the whole truck. We have to set the garage up, set everything up. I mean, that's all done by us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, most people don't know that, but when you see them push them off the truck to the garage is set up from the truck. Us truck drivers do that.
Yeah.
Set everything up and have it ready.
Yeah, so it's a lot more strenuous. I think a lot of people think that it's just the driving part, separate from the stress and that from driving. Physically, you're pushing up around hundreds of pounds of
couple thousand
pounds of equipment that is very important and expensive and needed. So there's definitely a lot there. Let's see. I'm home for 3 days this week, then back on the road for Cali and Vegas straight. Yep. There you go. Let's see. Oh, so you've been racing, Circle Track's been racing at the Flat Rock Speedway in Michigan for 30 years.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Favorite track.
Your favorite track. So
Martinsville.
Martinsville is Rob's favorite track. It's not the home track that he grew up with.
But that's my home track.
But that's our home track here.
Where most people at Charlotte's, because that's where most people
live in Charlotte. Yeah.
Yep.
But we don't. So,
I'm more of what are we, 25 minutes from Winston and 25 minutes from Greensboro.
Yeah, we're more the northern part. Yeah.
It's all quiet and open out here.
We like land. We like it rural. We like land. We like our animals. That kind of thing. We don't like neighbors. But yeah, so for Martinsville, growing up, his home track growing up was Dover, just because he lived in Baltimore. But Martinsville, even then, you still went to Martinsville every year for every race.
Yes.
So growing up, even though it wasn't your technical home track, it was your favorite track.
Yeah.
And something that's cool was that when Rob was driving with Clint Boyer, they won in Martinsville. So that was cool to be able to win at his favorite track that he grew up loving. So that's kind of a cool thing, I think. Let's see. From Oklahoma. Hi from Oklahoma. My family, my grandmother's from Oklahoma, Paul's Valley. Let's see. Lucky girl. Oh, this thing keeps changing on it. Sorry, it looks like I keep moving.
Is that a rumor?
Let's see. Rumor is Buescher may go to Stuart Haas to take over Harvick's car.
I haven't heard that one.
Could be interesting. He was looking pretty good yesterday.
Yeah. I don't know.
We don't know anything. You guys will probably know before he will know.
You'll probably know before I know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
But I don't pay much attention to rumor stuff.
No. I'm the one that's much more like, ooh, gotta read this, want to find out what's going on with this, so...
I mean... We'll hear what we say, and then we'll hear stuff, and we'll kind of like, well, have you heard this? Have you heard this? And most of us are like, I ain't heard anything.
Most of them don't really pay much attention because they live it all the time. So,
Yeah.
let's see. Justin Evans met Tony in West Memphis, raced in the sprint car. He was he was rude. Interesting. Because usually, well, Tony has a reputation of.
Yeah, well, I'm not getting into
No,
all
but
that,
he actually is a really good guy. So
yeah, I couldn't ask for a better boss than what I have.
yeah, and he worked with them both on his team, and then
A driver and
Tony's a driver and Tony as the boss, and so he's treated Rob and us very, very well. So we're definitely big fans. Yeah, I know, Fire J. It was too bad about the cars. And all three of them being knocked out in one wreck. That certainly sucked.
not good.
Yeah, it was funny. I have to laugh. Clint said something on TV about something like, oh, Tony, that was an expensive wreck for you, wasn't it? Or something like that, because it knocked out three of his cars. So, but, all right, let's see here. Adam, I live an hour from Dover Downs. Go every year. Yeah.
Awesome.
So that was my first track I went to was Dover.
Yeah, because you lived in Bel Air at the time.
Yeah, I was living in Maryland at the time, and so Dover was my first race, which was interesting because I didn't really know. I never followed NASCAR until we started talking, and so I didn't really know what to expect. And Dover was an interesting first race. It was certainly loud.
Not that bad.
He over the years he's lost some of his hearing because of the sound, so he says it's not bad, but sometimes it's bad. He also likes to play jokes on his friends when they come to races and not tell them to bring ear protection.
Absolutely not. You got to get the feel and the
you got to get the feel of the noise. I'm like, you can still feel the noise even with the headset and the earplugs.
No, you cannot. Bullshit. If you're not deaf, it wasn't a good experience.
Oh. So anyway. Oh, let's see here.
Minnesota.
Oh, hi from Minnesota. Oh, you're in Minnesota now. Oh, it's bad here. Oh, probably. I think you guys are getting some of the bad weather, the winter weather.
Where?
In Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Steven, you're going to be in Atlanta? There you
Me
go.
too.
Yeah.
I'll be both of them this year.
Yeah, he's doing both Atlantas. I'm going to the July Atlanta. Probably. So, that'll be fun. But let's see. What's your favorite track to drive to? I know what he's gonna say. Martinsville. Yeah. Well, no, let's be honest. It's because it's 20 minutes.
I don't know. I do like to drive. I do like driving out west because it's different. You see the East Coast, you kind of feel like you see the same thing all the time. So it's pretty views out west when you're driving out. I think it is.
Oh, it absolutely is beautiful out west.
Yeah, so I do like to drive out there. Like, I don't know. I mean, when you drive at night, you can't see shit, but but
he likes to. If he has a choice between driving in the daytime and driving at night, he prefers driving at night. Basically, because there's less traffic. Yeah. So if you see a lot of his TikToks, when he's driving, it's because it's dark out. It's because he prefers that. So.
Yeah, I prefer the night shift. I mean, sometimes it doesn't work that way, but...
Yeah, this one might not. Well, you'll drive somewhat at night.
Well, if we leave in the evening, I'll drive from the evening into the middle of the night.
Yeah. Truck drivers are busy. You guys are there just after we arrive most tracks.
Yep.
That's true, JCC. Let's see. Was in Daytona on our ride back today. We were talking about you guys, the hauler drivers. Well, hopefully you're saying good things about the hauler drivers.
Yeah.
It depends on if they cut you, if one of them cut you off or something. I'm just kidding. No, I know you don't cut people off.
Try not to. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. What time did you get home? So he got back to the shop.
5:05.
5:05 exactly. That's what time he pushed the log button. Right.
Done.
No, he didn't. He stayed for several more hours because they're leaving tomorrow to get the truck.
Yeah, I stayed till I got back at 5. I left at 9:30ish.
Yeah.
I think it was 9:30 when I left.
And so then he helped get a lot of the truck ready because they are leaving tomorrow. And then got home several hours later. And and then they leave tomorrow. So his co-driver will go in the morning, finish up what needs to be done because his co-driver flew back from Daytona yesterday. And then they'll leave whenever the car's loaded. So
Yep.
they'll have all their stuff done. They literally just wait for the car to be loaded up. Everything else is usually loaded, and or wait for traffic. Sometimes that.
Yeah.
Typically, it's waiting for the car though. Let's see. When does the crew get in? They fly back after the race. So
What's his name?
your co-driver?
My co-driver got. I think he said they landed at a little after 9 last night. I said, hell, I was.
You weren't even off the track at 9 last night.
He called me earlier and he said, "What time did you get out of there last night?" I was like 10 o'clock. He's like, shit, I was on I was on my way home or almost home at 10 o'clock. I wasn't even moving.
No, you were still sitting in the truck waiting to even get off the track.
Listen to the radio.
Somebody wants to know if you own the truck.
No.
No, Stuart Haas owns the truck, trailer, everything. Rob works for Stuart Haas.
I will never own my truck.
Yeah, you've never had any interest in
No.
owning one. Because I've asked. I was like, it'd be kind of nice for us to be able to, but nope. He loves what he does. So we were just standing beside me as the 14 came in yesterday. You guys were clearing a spot for it. Very cool. Let's see what else. Was stationed at Dover Air Force Base when I was in the Air Force.
Cool.
Very cool. I've been to that Air Force Base quite a few times. I flew. I was Air Force Auxiliary in Florida. Flew out of Martins Airport. Let's see. Be careful driving through the Midwest on your way to Fontana. Yeah, that's what we were talking about today.
We may go down the bottom again.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like the Midwest part's going to be. I mean, you're going to have storms, but it looks like once you hit,
New Mexico.
Arizona. That area is when you're going to hit that snow, that winter storm.
Yeah, so we'll figure it out tomorrow.
Yeah, basically, what'll happen is they'll, get on the. I mean, you'll probably. I mean, I guess you don't know right now which way you guys will go. You won't know until you really see what the weather's going to be.
Yeah, we'll look. Before we leave, we always pull up the weather for every state we go through.
Yeah.
So that takes a little bit too, because we always pull it up on our phones and kind of. I'll go to one app and he'll go to a different app, and we'll kind of compare and see what each of them says, and then we just make an executive decision. And usually, how me and his executive decisions work. Usually don't work so well.
Yeah, I love how they use the term executive decisions, and it's just that's not.
And our favorite terms. Look at the time. Yeah, we can improve on that.
Yeah, sure. It says it's going to take us this long. Nah.
I believe I can improve on that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Both of us. That's our thing. I can improve on that.
They're like two peas in a pod when it comes to that. Let's see here. Favorite race to watch. Ooh. So two things. Favorite race to watch. Favorites. What am I trying to say? Favorite racetrack to watch it in person. Favorite to watch on TV. They might be different, or they might be the same.
I've never been asked that question before.
I know.
That's a good one.
I know.
Damn, I got to think a little bit.
Now I've got this little hamster going.
It's not in my vocabulary.
Or I mean, is it? Do you like? Do you like short track? Do you like speedway?
The speedways are fun as shit in person to watch.
In person, okay. Yeah. So
yeah, I like
So would that be Daytona? Would that be Dega?
Talladega? They're Atlanta now. They're fun as hell to watch.
Yeah, and that's
in person and on TV. I mean, granted, you can't see where I'm at. You can't really see it.
Well, and that's the thing. Where they are, obviously pit road.
You just see kind of when they pass.
You literally all you do is see them go past. It's like for this for Martins.
Normally at the track, when we watch it, we're watching it either on the big screen or on the TV on the pit box.
Yeah. So on each of the pit boxes, they have a lot of computer screens up on the second level of the pit box, but on the first level of it, there's a lot of the screens that are the actual TVs. And so anybody that's kind of there can kind of watch what's going on. So like the pit guys can watch or whatever, just what's going on. So that helps. But because a lot of the times, because you've got everybody's boxes next to you, you really can only see that little bit in front of you, and that's it. So you really don't get to watch the rest of the race at all. James, I agree. The Hall of Drivers are the engine that runs NASCAR. 100% agree, because without them, there would be no cars there, because how would they get there? They'd have no cars to race. They'd be riding around on little scooters or something. So totally agree with you. How many hours can you drive before you have to take a break, and how long is that break?
8 hours. In the first 8 hours, or up your first 8 hours, you got to take a 30-minute break. And then you can drive 11 hours total in a 14-hour period. And then you got to take a 10-hour break.
Yeah. So basically, you guys,
we usually do 10 to 10, and then we say that and we end up doing 11. How many times am I like, fuck?
Yeah,
I gotta hurry up. I got 35 minutes of drive time, and it says I can get there in 20. I can get to this Loves in 28 minutes.
Yes, there's been many conversations that him and I have had where it's like, oh, I've got 20 minutes left of drive time, and it's 15 minutes till I can get to the Loves. They typically will go to Loves if they can, and truck stops. So that's usually what they do. But is there only one driver per truck?
Two.
So there are 2 drivers per truck. They do for especially the long hauls, such as the West Coast Swing, some of the other ones. It's him and a co-driver. If it is something where only one can make it with just
with the time, we rotate.
They'll rotate, so that way, for instance, Martinsville. Rob will go to Martinsville and work and that gives his co-driver the ability to have that weekend off. So they do that so they can have some more home time.
Even there's 8 races a year. Between myself and my co-driver, we won't go to. But when you figure it up, with the amount of time that we're gone, we're still gone more than the team is, even with the 8 off weekends that we'll get. Yeah,
and it wasn't always like that.
They used to have to go 2 truck drivers all the time
to every race, which never made any sense. Because especially when you've got, again, Charlotte, Martinsville, Atlanta, Darlington. I mean, you're just talking a couple hours. So it didn't make sense to have 2 drivers for something that, I can drive by myself. So.
Yeah, so usually, like Michigan is 10 hours or a little over 10, maybe 10 and a half hours. One of us will drive to it. Like I'm doing that this year. Mm-hmm. I did it last year, drove up by myself, and then my co-driver flew up on Sunday. Mm-hmm. Now that one I won't, typically when one flies in, the other one will fly home. Mm-hmm. But so that one, that being that one is a borderline, I'll ride back in the truck. Most of the time I don't end up driving, but we'll go back, like in Watkins Glen, I'll drive up by myself, and then he'll fly up and drive it home on Sunday. But it's another one, you can make it with one driver, but if something happens,
it doesn't take. There's not much wiggle room.
Like if there's no wiggle room.
No.
To where when one goes by herself, we'll leave a little bit earlier in case something does happen. Mm-hmm. Where we can pull in somewhere and we'll have time to take a break, and then still make it there in plenty of time to park or whatever.
Yeah.
And get washed.
Yeah. I can't say it. It's Bishop wants to know, do you miss Kentucky?
It seems like it rains there every year.
So does it. It rains in Daytona. Typically, it rains in Atlanta. And
Kentucky wasn't too bad.
Yeah, Kentucky wasn't bad. Let's see. Do you ever... Let's see. Oh, didn't get to talk to you on Sunday. Didn't want to bother you. Oh, you do Chase's Facebook and website. Aw. Are you talking Chase Briscoe's Facebook and website? If so, you should definitely come over and say hi. Let's see. Tango, I'll be at Atlanta. Both races, or the spring or July one? I have my class. Yep, thoughts on changes of ACS. Oh, very cool. Least favorite track to drive to? To drive.
Probably, I'd say probably New Hampshire because of the traffic going when you got to go up through like New York and Connecticut and all that. That's what I'd say.
Is the track hard,
Well,
or
of
is it
course-
just the way to get up there?
Well, I mean, the track's not hard. It's just a pain. You got, of course, going through Dover, you got to go through Northern Virginia.
Yeah, I would say I can't imagine Northern Virginia's fun.
It's never fun.
No, ever.
That's why I drive. When I go drive to Dover, I leave in the evening
Yeah.
because that puts me going through Northern Virginia about midnight.
Yeah.
And you're still not out of the loop.
No. What else does it say here? Are you happy that you're changing from a 2 mile to a short track?
Oh, Auto Club. That'll be pretty cool being a short track. Of course, who knows when we'll end up going back.
Yeah, because it's going to take a little while.
Yeah.
Do they,
I mean,
any idea how long it's going to take?
no.
I didn't know if they had kind of an estimate.
They already. It's not going to be on the schedule next year, from what I understand.
Yeah. Big Sean, he drives for Chase Briscoe. So that's who he drives for. With 14 car with Stuart Haas. What do you do during the weekend? At the track? At the races? Or? Let us know what you mean.
At the racetrack. Well, if it's at the racetrack, depends if I'm on the roster or not.
So the way it works is either him or his co-driver will be on the roster for the team, and so then they catch the right front tire. So when you see them pitting, you'll see that there are a couple of guys that have to go over, they have to be on the backside of the wall, but they will reach over and have to make sure that the tires don't squirrel off like one did yesterday. Not with you guys, one of the other teams, the tire went off, and when the big guys went diving for it, and it was already in the next box over, so they got penalized.
Penalty, yeah.
So you definitely have to make sure, and so one of the two of them will do that.
Yeah, if it's one of those things that we're both there, one's on the roster for the weekend and one's not, and if you're not, you're just in the hotel. You're just in the hotel all weekend.
Yeah.
Kind of just doing whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And then you'll be the one that drives out.
Right, so you're the first one to drive out since the other one worked the race. Big Sean, yeah, he did work for Clint, one with Clint in Martinsville, and so definitely has a lot of Clint stories. But thoughts on Kevin retiring after this season?
I mean,
it's going to be bittersweet because he's been there the whole time.
And then that's another one, when I was young, before I ever got in it, he was coming up and, seen him for years, you know what I mean? And now it's not,
We've been fortunate to be able to go to events with Kevin, and he's just another nice guy.
Yep.
So, let's see here. I'm a Kyle fan. Good.
Kyle.
Oh, good point. Are we talking Larson or Busch? Let's see here. We used to call that track home, but we moved to Arizona, and we will be at both races at
Phoenix. Awesome.
Yeah, so you'll be going to the race here in 3 weeks?
Yeah, because I do.
He'll be working Phoenix, so if you see, when you look at the 14 pit stops, you will see him.
Yeah.
He'll be the one leaning over the side. Any responsibilities during the race? Yeah, we kind of talked about that.
Yeah, a lot of them.
A lot.
Load the truck, unload the truck.
Work the pit.
Work the pit. Get everything ready. If they need anything from the truck, I got to go back to get it, or keep everything cleaned and stocked up.
Yeah, so they never sit.
Stop.
They never sit. They never watch the race, unless they're on the line. But on the line, that's just.
I mean, I just watch what's.
What's on what's going on in the crew.
And if when I get there from being at the hotel, I'm getting the truck loaded.
Yeah. So, Satchel, yes. I like that. Damn, y'all got to be pit crew too. That is true.
What's that?
You got to work on the pit too.
Yeah.
So, yep, when he's back here at the shop, they're doing pit practice, and doing everything to get the truck ready. So it's more than just the one job. So, oh gosh, this thing keeps moving on us. Let's see, RCR Rowdy. Yeah, we know who that is then. But yeah, Master Rat, yeah, it will be the end of an era. Kevin's the last driver to race under the Winston Cup.
Yeah.
You've never been to the Winston Cup Museum, have
No.
you? Yeah.
No.
He doesn't go to the museums and that kind of thing.
I've never even been to the Hall of
racing.
Fame.
So he hasn't been to the NASCAR Hall of Fame, though his signature is in the NASCAR Hall of Fame, being on Tony's car. Since it was, they had
the last race that we ran.
Yeah, the last race that Tony ran that and won his car. So, yeah, he's in there, but hasn't been there. So, yeah, Charles, yeah, you get VIP passes. Definitely say hi, but don't. Just something you know is that he'll be slammed busy. So if you catch him in running by and say hi, don't. He's busy, so don't take offense if sometimes they have time to be able to sit and chit chat, and sometimes it's literally like a wave as they go by kind of deal. So, kind of depends on what's going on, how the car is running, what needs to happen.
Yeah.
So
it's a hit or miss.
And even when I'm at the race, there's times I can spend time with them, and there's times that I'm spending time with one of the other guys on the crew. So
yeah,
it just kind of depends on what's happening. So
yeah, because literally we have to keep everything, anything that's in that truck, and if there's tours going on in the truck, we have to be in there, and then it's like, you don't have a whole lot of, you try to make time, but you do the best you can with it.
Yeah, you just and what's kind of what sucks is, like in his case, being from Baltimore, for instance, a lot of people that he knows goes to the Dover race. And he might or might not ever even be able to talk to them. So
I'll usually get to, because usually my friends, like at Dover, I will get them, like I'll get them the hot passes to come in. Mm-hmm. I'll usually at Dover or Richmond or something like that, and then when I'm there for the whole weekend, we'll if they come up, we'll go out to dinner or kind of hang out and do something in the evening. Or a lot of times, like I'll go over, and if the Orioles are in town, I'll go over and watch an Oriole game. I'll go to
he definitely loves his Orioles. I know. The way I say it sounds like I'm saying the cookies.
Because that's so between Dover and Richmond, I do know a lot of people at, so I'll get a lot of them passes, and then I'll get and if I don't see them much during the day, we'll go out at night or whatever. And like I said, when I go to Dover, I'll go to Orioles games, and I always try to catch one when I'm going to Dover.
Yeah.
If they're home.
Yeah.
It's only a little over an hour drive, so.
Yeah, it's not bad. Is Darlington a good race to go see for your first time race?
Darlington's a fun race. I do like Darlington.
Be prepared for parking. You're going to be hoofing it, so if you have any kind of mobility issues.
I would suggest those yards where you can pay, I suggest using those.
But it's free in the big lots.
Yeah, but you don't have to walk as far.
Well, true. So the big lots in Darlington, they're huge parking lots, but they're free to park in, but then you might have to walk a long way. Sometimes I'll bring my dad to the Darlington races, and it's a lot. What was I going to say? Oh, what was I saying?
It's easier to keep track on the big.
Yeah, I can't do that other thing though. Let's see here. Who is your favorite racer? Which
that's Chase.
Chase Briscoe, since that's who he works for. So, yeah. I know the All-Star race sold out really fast, but then it's because of where it's at.
Yeah.
It's the first race back in North Wilkesboro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I think is so cool. Like, I'm like giddy excited about it. He's not working that race, and he didn't want to go to it. So I have to watch it on TV.
I don't go when I'm off.
I know. He doesn't go to the races when he's off, because
even if it's right here.
For obvious reasons. Okay, so here's a question. If you were off for Martinsville, would you go to Martinsville?
Ooh.
See?
But I'm never off for Martinsville.
No. You always do.
When I can come, my co-driver would have to stay up there. I don't have to stay.
Yeah, it makes no sense, because literally the way it works with Martinsville for us is that he'll go up there, park the hauler, and then I'll just come up there and
pick me up.
I pick him up. I'll go to the practices. I'll go to, I'm there for the weekend with him. So And we're 20 to 30 minutes from the house.
And that's why my co-driver does Charlotte, because that way, he still goes home. But if it's in Charlotte, like the night we park, I'm usually the only one that's sleeping in the truck. when I did the Rover last year.
Yeah. Everybody else comes and goes from Charlotte, but for us, it's an hour and a half away.
It's an hour and from the racetrack to here, it's like an hour and 45 minutes. So, and then having to be back at 8:00 in the morning, and you're getting done, and you're parking at 8:00 at night.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Some of the times it gets a little...
But everybody goes home, and I'm usually the only one. When we're in Charlotte last year, I was the only one that stayed in the truck. I was the only one in the garage.
I know.
The security guards.
We were talking, and I was like, "What's going on?" Because normally they're all hanging out together, and he's like, "Nobody's here. It's just me, me and the security guards, having a good time." Driving to Charlotte is pretty boring. It's what, 6 miles?
6 miles from the shop.
6 miles from the shop. So, that's pretty easy. That's obviously the easiest. You drive from Martinsville to Charlotte. So we don't live in Martinsville. We're about 30 minutes from Martinsville. So from our house to the racetrack would be an hour and a half.
To Charlotte?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. To the shop is in Concord, which... Kannapolis. I keep saying Concord. That's where the airport is. Kannapolis. And so that is an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Something like that. So, yeah. So he does drive that. Every day he has to go to the shop, but he doesn't... I mean, he'll go to the shop, get in the hauler, and go. So... Yeah,
a lot of times we don't... we're not during race season, I'm not at the shop every day. Yeah. Like I am in the off season.
So off season sucks because he has to go every day to that.
Yeah. But really only in January, because I take the whole month of December off. Pretty much right after Thanksgiving, I'm done for the year.
Yeah, he'll take off all of December. That'll be our vacation time, and then he starts back going to the shop in January to get ready for the Clash. So really, December is his off season, and that's really it. So, so they wanted to know, how many races do you work a year? Do you know?
30.
So you work 30 races because you do take 8? Each of you take about 8 off.
Each of us take 8 off, so we each do 30.
Which is, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot because, this West Coast swing.
But my co-driver and I have a very good working, so, and we're always like, dude, if you got something to do, like, we'll swap. We have a schedule that because we sit down and we just say, he's got ones he likes, I got ones I like, and he, there's places he doesn't like to go, and there's places I don't like to go, and we just work it out that way. But then, but like if something comes up and I'm like, we're good about, hey man, this is going on that weekend, I want to go. Hey, well, hell. We'll swap these weekends, and you go do that, and then he's a big Clemson football fan, so they're playing here in Wake, and so he's like, I said, well, you go ahead and take that weekend off, and I'll just work.
They work it out.
We have a tentative one, but then if something comes up that one of us want to do. Just go.
But yeah, right. So basically, in January they'll sit down and figure out the schedule together. What they want to do, where they have to go. The ones that they know that only one person needs to go, they kind of split up. Like again, he'll take both of the Martinsville. His co-driver loves Bristol, so his co-driver typically will do Bristol. And then they kind of just swap it out based on what's going on in everybody's lives.
Yeah, and then that's not to say it doesn't change during the year, because we're. Our crew chief very laid back with us too.
He's very cool.
So as far as he doesn't care, as long as he knows we've both been. I mean, I've been in it for 10 years. He's been in it. My co-driver's been in it for 20. So you don't have. They don't have anything to worry about when which one of us goes. They don't care. They know it's going to get done. So we just go tell them, hey, we're switching this one, take him off the roster and put me on it. And he's like, all right, no problem.
Yeah.
And there's never a question asked.
Yeah. Big wheels rolling. Hi from the Shenandoah Valley in Virginia. So I lived in Front Royal and Linden. I don't know what part you lived in or you live in, but
My family lives in Inwood, West Virginia, and my brother lives in Martinsburg.
so we're very familiar with the Shenandoah Valley.
Yeah.
Opinion of the Clash. He can't really say much about the Clash. I can say more about the Clash. It was interesting. It'll be interesting to see how many more years they do it in LA. Definitely when I posted videos about the Clash, it was very obvious from the people that kind of follow us or our viewers.
And those comments were actually mostly her on the comments. Like if you replied back.
Yeah, so
certain things
he's not allowed to talk about certain things, he just doesn't.
Yeah, there's some things I just kind of stay back from.
I am very opinionated. I have no trouble talking about my opinion.
I am too. She knows my opinions, but I keep that.
So he won't ever say that stuff on air, kind of thing. But so it's interesting. It will be, my opinion is, it will be interesting to see if the Clash will continue to stay in LA. It clearly, from a standpoint of just an outside observer, definitely less people this year than last year. I think it definitely is a different audience. And I think there's going to be too many people complaining, and I think that the cost to build that out every year is going to at some point become counterproductive to what they're trying to do. Now, does that mean that they are still going to keep doing it just because they want to have it in LA? Who knows the behind the scenes stuff and how much, who's getting what and who's doing what and all that kind of stuff. So
I just tell everyone, I know a lot of people don't like it, I may or may not, but
their job is to go where they're told to go.
And then, but, I just look at it as, I guess, they have a job to do too.
Everybody has a job to do. Yeah.
I mean, and everybody knows, whether you're a fan of it or not, whether I'm a fan of it or not, that's the only way
I am not a fan of it, but that's all I can say.
When you look at it as a market standpoint, LA's a big money market. Chicago is a big money market.
So I personally,
that's actually on.
Yeah, I saw that. What are your opinion? What's your thoughts of the Chicago street race? Now he'll be at the Chicago race.
I'm going to the Cubs game,
but he's going to the Cubs game. So he's
I'm not working it.
So I used to live in Chicago, and so I'm really excited about it. It's going to be right there in Grant Park. I think it's going to be cool. I'm glad I'm not still living in Chicago with the race going on, because I can't imagine the amount of traffic and things that are going to be happening with the build up for it. But I think it's going to be interesting to watch. Now, is it going to be again like the Clash where, they're catering to a different group of people? I don't know. We'll see. But it'll be interesting. So he'll be there, but he actually isn't working that race. But he's going to the Cubs game. So
yep. The tickets go on sale Friday.
It's his bucket list to go to Wrigley Field. I used to go to Wrigley back before they had lights when I lived there, but clearly it's been obviously a number of years, and he's never been there. So
my co-driver is actually working the race that weekend, but I'm getting me and him some tickets this week to go to because we both want to go to the Cubs game.
Harrison Burton did great last night. For a little while there, it looked like he was going to pull it, but
if you work the race, do you drive the hauler back? It depends on where it is. Like typically when we're by ourselves, we do. But if it's one where we do that, when it's just one of us there, somebody will do our duties during the day, and we'll come in when the race starts. That way we have the amount of hours it is to drive.
Yeah, because that's the other side of it is from a safety standpoint with the number of hours and all that.
And typically a race is only 3 to 3.5 hours, and we can work.
Except for last season, that one race.
Yeah, well.
The never-ending race.
So usually if we're by ourselves, we've got plenty of hours to work the race and drive back in the 14-hour period.
You're working Atlanta, so you'll drive down, you'll work Atlanta, and you'll drive back.
Yeah, because Atlanta's only 4.5 to 5 hours from the shop. Mm-hmm. So and I'll go in, I'll work the race, but like I said, somebody will do the typical stuff I do, and I'll go in right as the race starts. And that way, 3 hours there, 5 hours. I mean, you figure it's a 9 hour day and you can work 14.
Yeah.
So, and Talladega, it's the same way. It's 6 hours. We'll go in when the race starts, and then 3 hours. So you're 9 or 10 hour day, and you still got 4 or whatever hours to play with.
Yeah, so you still have that
So
wiggle room.
you still have that wiggle room.
Yeah.
But like I said, Daytona was 8 hours, and that was a long race yesterday. So that's why I flew down and drove the truck back, and then
And your co-driver just
he
flew
flew
back.
back.
So, Jeff says my son lives in Inwood.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we're very familiar.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time.
Yep.
Let's-
Spend a lot of time in Inwood and Martinsburg.
Yep.
I keep
Wrigley.
on saying Bill.
You see, I got you doing that. I keep saying Martinsville, Martinsburg.
I'm so used to saying it because it's right up the street here.
Yeah. Let's see. Wrigley is an experience. I know it is. I'm really excited for him. Like you said, it's his bucket list thing to go do. So really excited that he's going to be able to go do that. How much weight are you pulling? Do you know? I know it depends.
In the 70s. And we were at max when we had 2 cars.
Yeah. But could you only bring the one car and then the cart, the parts cart or whatever you call it?
Yeah.
The rebuild cart.
Yep.
So the question is that's a good question. Do the time that you're working the race, is that considered logged on duty?
Yeah, you have to. Anything you work, you have to log.
Yeah.
That's why we go in late.
So.
That's why we go in late on race days. When we are right at the start of the race, we'll get there because it's a while before the first pit stop. So.
Yeah, so you have to be very cognizant.
Because we still have to go by the same laws as every other truck driver has to go by.
Yeah, and because they're electronic logs.
Yep.
Not paper logs anymore.
And yeah, we have to, still, I mean, we're just like every other 70 hours in an 8-day period. We can't work over that, to where the shop guys and all that can put it on. We're not allowed to, but under federal law, we're not allowed to do that.
It's a different ballgame for you guys, meaning compared to the shop guys and stuff.
Yep.
Are you working Kansas? I don't remember. You're not working Kansas.
I'll be at Kansas, but I'm not.
You're not working.
I'm not working Kansas, but I'll be there.
Yeah. How many cars are on each hauler? Depends on the hauler.
2 of our haulers usually have 2 cars, and the other 2 of them will have 2, and
Well, like his hauler, he'll do his car, so the 14, and then
we have that cart, that repair cart.
the repair cart that can repair any
that
vehicle.
can basically build another car.
So that's what he carries in his 2 cars in one trailer, and then another car and cart in the other trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the right number.
Yeah.
So
yeah, two of the 4 carry 2 cars, and 2 of them carry 1.
Nina Bean, I will be going to Martinsville in April. Looking forward to a first time at that track. You will love it. I will be at both Martinsville. So.
You're actually sitting in the grand. I actually bought her tickets for the grandstands.
So I've never actually watched a race in the grandstands. Because usually I'm down, with him at the pit. But with Martinsville, it's because it's such a small. It's hard to. You can't really watch the race at all when you're down at the pit. So. We decided we got tickets for me to actually go up in the stands. So I'll let you know where I am in the stands when I get a chance, because
she's in Clay Earl's Tower. That's exactly where I sat when I was growing up.
So he got me tickets where he sat when he was a kid growing up, so I could see what he experienced when he was a kid. So
you'll have an experience, I'll tell you.
So I'm really excited. I'm
jealous.
You'll be there. You'll just be down.
Yeah, I'll be working.
I'll be like, woohoo, look at that cute guy over there.
Yeah. You probably won't even see my ass.
I won't be able to see the 14?
Well, it depends on where we pit.
Well, yeah. Yeah, because I want to be able to watch you.
Mm-hmm. You maybe should huddle up. You're there to watch the race anyway. It's fun watching it from the grandstands.
I'm bringing one of my girlfriends who's never been to a race. So she's super excited as well because... She doesn't.
Well, I mean, I'll get you passes. You'll be down there for a while.
Yeah, we'll go up to the stands once it's getting ready to start. Once they start their engines and get going, then we'll go up.
Yeah.
Because I like the feel of I like being right there, on right by the track when they start their engines and they start when they really get going. Because it gives me the chills. It's just such a cool feeling physically, I think. So let's see here. Be both Atlantas, both Charlottes, Darlington in May, and both Bristols. Wow,
That's
good for you.
That's a good one.
So I might or might not go to Darlington. I usually go to both Darlingtons. I don't know. I probably will unless I have a wedding or something. And then I'll be going to Atlanta in July. I won't go to Charlotte. Not because I don't want to. I'd love to go to Charlotte. But the passes that he's able to get for me to be able to go to the races, Charlotte typically goes to the sponsors and everyone, and there's usually just not enough of them left
And
over
it's just too many. And I don't do Charlotte anyway.
You do the road.
I do the Roval.
Yeah, he'll do the Roval. But so I haven't actually had a chance to go to Charlotte, and he's not a fan of Bristol, so typically he doesn't work.
It's
Bristol.
fun on the grandstands.
He likes watching Bristol. He doesn't like cleaning the truck up afterwards or parking there. So
it's not parking.
I mean, not parking. Unloading the vehicle. Like there's no garage, so you have to unload. Get everything out, get everything back in, keep moving them back and forth. So Bristol's not his favorite. Though he loves to watch Bristol.
Yeah, Bristol's fun to watch.
So,
but I'm still not going when I'm off.
He's still not going. Oh, gosh. Scotty, I'm on the Kansas Fire team. I love it.
Oh, cool.
Is Tony Stewart a nice guy?
Yes.
Very nice guy. We've been very fortunate. He's been very cool. Me and my wife will be at the Phoenix Raceway in March. Nice. You'll be there?
I'll be there.
You'll be working that one.
Yeah, I'll work that one.
So you'll be able to see him in action. You'll see him if you're close to where the 14 pits. So wherever that's going to be. Ever been to the Iowa Speedway?
No, I've never been there because I've never worked Xfinity or trucks or anything. I've always been in Cup. So I've never been to Iowa Speedway.
Yeah.
That's one I've never been to. Because Cup's never raced there.
Yeah. Bob says, I'm going to the Martinsville truck race. That would be fun. Brandon, it's your buddy from Indiana. Hey, Brandon.
Hey.
Let's see. Oh, we infield camp and shoot content. We're one of those people filming haulers coming in and out. Well, tag us when you do the 14, because we love to see that kind of footage, especially if they're doing any kind of a parade or anything. So he's not a big fan of the parades. He's not the smile and wave kind of person.
I do it though.
You do. You do I think you do a great job. Let's see.
I just want to get parked.
Yeah, I know.
Get unloaded.
You want to get parked, unloaded, and get going with what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bill says I don't blame him cleaning dirt out of the trailer.
Yeah, not fun.
Yeah.
That was a long week.
Yeah, the Bristol dirt race last season. I know you spent hours cleaning dirt out.
I was at the shop late every night that week.
Yeah, and he's very meticulous with his hauler, so it's not like, oh, I'll just give it a dusting. No, it's hands, knees, toothbrush type cleaning. So
yeah, so I mean, everybody would leave the shop at 4:00. That's when I pulled the truck out and started pressure washing it because everybody's cars are all around. So
yeah. Will you be at Watkins Glen?
Yes.
Are you working it?
Yes.
So there you go. You'll be able to see him at Watkins Glen. Oh, Jay says you would give me a pass for the Roval if you want. Oh, thank you. I would love to go to the Roval.
Have fun.
You're going to the Roval?
Oh, yeah, I am.
He's saying have fun, and yeah, he's going to be there.
Yeah, I was thinking, have fun.
Yeah, I would love to. Like I said, I've never been able to go to any of the Charlotte races, so. I'm going to go without you.
I'll be working anyway.
I know.
We just can't get them at the shop.
No,
for Charlotte.
Totally get it. There's a lot of NASCAR fans in Charlotte.
Well, no, I mean the sponsors, because everybody comes to Charlotte, and they come to the shop all week, and
yeah, it's for them. It's a cool. It's more than just the race. It's a whole experience for them.
Yeah.
So it makes perfect sense. Have you driven for anyone other than SHR?
Yeah, Roush. I've been with Roush and SHR. That's it.
So. Have you ever stopped at the world's biggest truck stop in
Iowa 80? Yes, I have.
Have you? Wait, I've never heard anything about it. What is it?
It's the biggest truck stop.
I mean, so I don't know, Jared, if you've been to Buc-ee's. Is it the size of a Buc-ee's?
Oh God, no! Buc-ee's is small compared to Iowa
Really?
80. Yeah, I've been to it once. I just say I've been there.
What?
It's just a huge truck stop.
But I mean, with Buc-ee's, it's it's
Buc-ee's is a gas
it's a
station
department store. Yeah. which is so cool. I love Buc-ee's.
It's cool.
We went to Buc-ee's in December. Coming back from our cruise. And so literally I have a Buc-ee's blanket. No. Yeah, Buc-ee's blanket. I have a Buc-ee's stuffed animal. So if you've ever been to Buc-ee's, you know what I'm talking about. Sorry, I digress there. Big time. How well do you know Tony that drives? Don't know which Tony. I'll look back and see what we already have. Just thinned out the old stuff from last year, though. How long have you been working in NASCAR? Since 15?
What's that?
How long have you been working in NASCAR?
Since 13.
13. Are you working the Brickyard?
No.
What's the Brickyard's? The
Indy.
Yeah.
No, I'm flying up Sunday and driving the truck back, and then my co-driver's flying home.
Okay, so he'll be there. He's just not working the race.
Yep.
My phone goes with our kids. So I'll have one over weekend. Let's see here. Are you going to California?
Yep.
Leaves tomorrow for Fontana.
Yep.
Gets to Fontana on Thursday morning. Leaves Fontana Thursday night. Flies back home to Charlotte. And then gets the swap out truck ready. Leaves Tuesday to go to Vegas with the swap with the 6 vehicles. He'll stay in Vegas, not working the Vegas race, but you will be able to find him inside of one of the casinos in the sports betting room. He will literally be there from the time he wakes up to the time he falls asleep. So you will be able to find him there. If you do see him there, I'm asking you guys to please make sure he eats some food, because last season he did that and did not eat a bite and got sick. I did not feel sorry for him at all, but needless to say, if you see him, tell him to eat some food. So
it was almost as bad as the day at Talladega.
Yeah, well, Dega. Yeah, well, Dega's a whole nother story. So.
That was once again my own doing.
Yep, absolutely. Is there any way I can meet you at Indy? Probably not. It's going to be hard to meet him because he's going to have to be.
I'll be in
He'll
the truck.
fly in that Sunday, and then we'll be in the truck, hopefully napping. But you never know. You never know. Kathy, I know Kathy. They said the weather's starting to look bad. I know.
Yeah, the word rain.
Rain, which won't affect him since he won't be working the Fontana race, but getting between here and there, it looks like Wednesday in Arizona, in Flagstaff, all that area where they're going through is going to be bad. So a little worried about that one. So, let's see here.
Been working in NASCAR since 2013.
Yeah, 2013. Buckslayer, Dega is Dega, no words needed. What happens in Dega stays in Dega. So that's my bucket list, is to go to Dega.
Bad day.
Yeah, so I want to do the Boulevard. I want to see what it is. I have heard countless stories.
Like I said, anything and everything.
Yeah, so he has...
Stripper poles. The big RVs that have custom-made stripper poles.
Yeah. So
all kind of.
I mean, I personally want to go and see it at some point. So next year, yeah. So my game plan is this year I'm doing Atlanta because I haven't done Atlanta. Next year I'm going to try to make it to Dega. That's my thing. So, let's see. Favorite track, Martinsville.
Yep.
Definitely. Fly back alone or on a team plane on Thursday?
I'm flying back commercial.
So normally they fly the SHR plane, which if you look on our TikTok, he took a video of it flying down to Daytona. So you can see what it looks like. But because it's only 2 of them coming back, because they're flying back so they can get the swap out truck and drive the 6 cars back, so there's only 2 of them. So it doesn't make sense for the fuel and stuff.
Yeah, because usually and the plane, that one will just, because it's so far away, it just stays out
there. Yeah, so that'll stay. So he's flying a red-eye back commercial.
Thursday night.
But
10 o'clock.
Typically, though, it's their jet that they fly.
Yeah, just from out west, when we do fly back, this is the only time we fly back is because swap out trucks are constantly going back and forth for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
and that's rotated, or contractors.
Yeah. Scott said Chase is a good kid. Glad he's making it in the big time. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We absolutely agree with you on that one. Dago is wild in its heyday. Has the heyday changed? Because my understanding it's just as wild.
That Michigan.
Yeah.
That Michigan and Watkins Glen.
So, according to the ranking system, Daga is obviously the number one.
Michigan
then
a close
Michigan close to 2. I mean, I guess
It's
pretty
close
to.
to.
Yeah, close to each other. And then Watkins Glen.
Yeah.
So, that's what their whole...
I've actually never been in Watkins Glen's campground before, but I've heard it sleeping in the truck, and it sounds wild. And I've heard people that have gone to it and said it's wild.
Yeah.
I'm not walking around out there.
No. I'm glad you're not walking out there.
I'm not going out there.
But I'm gonna tell you, next year if I do go to Daga, I can guarantee you our ass will be walking up and down the boulevard. So because I want to experience. So my ass is from New Orleans. I know I keep saying I'm from different places, but I was born and raised down in New Orleans, in Mississippi, that area. So for me, I'm used to Mardi Gras. I'm used to Bourbon Street. So I'm curious as to the extent of how Daga is compared to that, because I have heard it's just as bad or good, depending on how you look at it.
Some of the campgrounds are pretty wild. I've never been to like the outside campgrounds, but some of them I've heard are pretty wild too. But I personally never have been to any.
Yeah.
No.
Buck's there. I've got many stories and beads. Lord have mercy, just when you think you may have seen it all.
Yeah, go to Daga.
Well, everybody's saying, Lord, you don't want to go to it, Draga. That's funny.
See, a lot of people in here have been to the Boulevard.
I know, and so clearly I am missing out because I haven't taken part in it.
I spent a night or two there.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. Mm-hmm. So,
Never since we've been together.
Yeah, good answer.
That's true though.
Oh, good.
Like, we weren't together when I was at the truck the next day. Like,
Good.
not a good day. I'm glad I flew home that night.
I'm sure. Serves you right. Let's see. What? The wild boogie cube is always hilarious. What is a... Do I even want to know what a wild boogie cube is? Oh, well, of course I want to know, because it sounds interesting. But...
Beads and a hangover.
Equals Daga?
Yeah.
So they do beads at Daga? So it is just like Mardi Gras?
Oh, they got... beads everywhere.
Wow. I think Daga's taking some of our New Orleans heritage here.
I don't know if I should say this on here, but I'll say it anyway. That guy had a big-ass fishing pole. This started a huge fight, and we were all out there just, watching. He had a big old pink dildo on the fishing pole, and he threw it at some chick, or I guess her husband or whatever didn't take it well, and that led to all kinds of shit. But it was funnier than shit.
I can only imagine.
We all thought it was funny.
A bunch of alcohol. I can only imagine.
Yeah, like I said, you see some shit on Talladega Bowl. It's funnier. You just got there and laugh.
Yeah. Well, he loves to people watch, so that's why he loves Vegas too.
Yeah. That's probably... Like I said, it's been a long time since I've been, I'm getting old now. You know what I mean? I can't hang with these young ones anymore.
Yeah.
And, but you see some stuff, that's for damn sure. But it was cool to experience, you know what I mean?
Well, of course it is. It's just like any other rite of passage.
Yeah.
Especially for somebody like you who grew up loving NASCAR. Like, you, of course, have to experience that.
Yeah, everybody...
It's like me growing up. I was flying, and so I went to Oshkosh every year. Like it's just part of your heritage.
Yeah, and it's like and you're just like, oh, talk about fucked up the next day.
I'm sure.
Oh my
probably
God.
deserved it.
I only did it to myself.
Exactly. So, are you working the All-Star race? He won't. Actually, he won't even be there for the All-Star race. He's not working the race, and so he won't go to it. So. But we'll be watching.
He won't go to it.
He won't go to it. I'm sure we'll watch a little bit of it on the TV.
I'll watch
because
it.
that's cool to watch.
That one I will watch.
Because it's North Wilkesboro. Well, I'm sure we'll do a live.
And she was like, "You should just go."
I thought it was something
because I can go anytime I want to.
Right. He doesn't need a pass to go, clearly. And so I thought it was something he should experience because, again, it's the reopening of North Wilkesboro.
That's all right.
Anyway, whatever. Not enough wheels on that plane for him to drive it. Very true.
Yeah.
But I can. Let's see. Oh. Day goes, well, I've been clean, but every year is the upside down bottle chase in the infield at Darlington. Oh, you're being clean. Oh, upside down. You might have to explain what that means to me.
What's that?
Upside down bottle chase in the infield.
I've never been around the infield in Darlington.
In Darlington. Okay, I was thinking Dega.
I mean, we put where we nose up when we park.
Yeah.
The campgrounds are there. I see a lot of people out there drinking and having a good old
I was
time.
gonna say because I've been through Darlington, but not through the RV park.
It's not as big as what a lot of them are, but I'm sure.
Kathy, I would love to come to Phoenix and hang out with you guys at the race. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to go, but maybe next year because I think that would be a lot of fun, especially being right there. Oh, it's not Boogie. Replace the G.
Which one?
Shut up. It's not Boogie. Replace the G with the B, and yeah, Booby.
Oh, Booby.
Hey, you got me on that one. Trying not to get banned. It's fine.
We don't care on this site.
Yeah,
on this forum, we don't care.
We're fine.
I'm far from.
Yeah.
What I say.
Pro motocross races in the pits are wild too. Wow. Yeah. Oh, let's see. Dega and survived. Bragging rights. That's funny. That should be. I'm sure that's probably a
I
t-shirt.
survived it too. I just hurt the next day. Badly.
Pretty Win asked already, how long did it take to get out of the track last night? 3 hours?
Yeah, when I pulled out the backstretch gate, it was 10 o'clock, a little after 10. And I got back to the shop at 5, a little after 5.
Yeah.
So I got back 7 hours.
Yeah. But it took a couple hours to get out of the track.
Yeah.
Because they had to wait.
Yeah.
Which is not normal. Normally,
we don't normally wait that. I mean, we wait a while, but normally not that long.
Yeah, it was almost 3 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a while. I don't know what time the damn race was over. I don't even know. I just know we were out of it early, and the back door was already closed on mine.
Yep. Let's see. Catch you at the track soon. I'll be with the 98 in the Truck Series for Thirst Sport. Oh, very cool. Do you ever go live when driving?
Never.
He won't.
Not even parking. I won't. I don't ever go live when I'm.
No,
driving.
he takes this very seriously, and so from that standpoint, he will not go live.
I typically don't go live at all unless it's here.
Yeah, a lot of times, so we'll go live together. Race day, I'll go live, either watching the race and kind of, it's fun for me to go live on race day at home because there's nobody else to talk to about the race. And so I love interacting with you guys, and especially when it gets towards the end, we're all yelling and carrying on. So that's fun. But yeah, typically he won't go live by himself very often. Usually it's together. So
yeah, I stumble and all that crap. And
he does fine. He just prefers to have.
I went live once and then I said, "Piss on this. I ain't doing this anymore."
Let's see. How hard is it to get into Bristol? It's not hard to get into, is it? Not anymore. So the hardest track to get into is Atlanta, right? To actually park into.
It's just if it's through with the truck series, I don't know where they even park.
Oh, the truck part, yeah, that part I don't know. Yeah.
But they got to go in Bristol. I mean, it's an eye opener the first time you go in and out of the damn place. I'll tell you that much.
Were you nervous your first time?
Yeah, well, you're driving. All you can see is grandstands, and next thing you know, all you can see is
down.
You go straight down, and you got to go right at the wall and hang a left, but you got to go slow enough because you will hit the wall.
That would not be a good day if you hit the wall.
And then going out, you got to second or third gear and just floor it, no matter how high the RPMs are, and you got to cut it just right because the wall opens up. But the wall's sitting down here, and you got to turn right at the wall so your trailer clears that wall. Or if you go too far, your tractor, you'll have to stop. And then if you stop, you're done.
I like to choose her. That's the worst tunnel ever. Yeah.
But it's not bad once you get used to it.
Well, it's the same. I mean, it's true with anything once you get used to it. But in the beginning,
granted, if this is your first time in racing and never been in it before, going into a lot of these places, your first year you are going to be nervous because you don't know.
Well, of course, and especially being that everybody around you is more experienced with those tracks. That
yeah.
It would be
I mean,
natural.
like when we go in and out of it. I mean, granted, anything can happen. I mean, people go in and out of years, and Bristol gets stuck. If it's wet, you know, it's just, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But just biggest thing in mind, just have thick skin and don't pay attention to what anyone else says. Just do your thing.
Yeah.
Say if you can do it better, you do it for me then.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
You have to have a bit of a.
You got to have thick skin working in this sport. I'll tell you that much because only thing you got is each other and break each other's balls. That's all you got.
Yeah.
And if I would, and I'll tell everybody that's new getting into it, for one, good job, congrats, because it's hard, very, very difficult to do. Mm-hmm. And have thick skin. But if only time if nobody's fucking with you, then
you're doing something wrong.
Then I'd worry a little. If somebody's fucking with you, that means you're liked.
Yeah, and that's true for me too. Like they fuck with me just as much as they fuck with him when I'm there. So
yeah, like see they like it. They like it when it gets crowded behind there and stuff starts to happen because I start getting worked up and that's just
they like to watch each other get mad.
And they really like it when I do because they know what sets me off.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they all enjoy that.
Like, would you just, Twinkie, I see our boys in a bad mood today?
Yeah. And that's what, I mean, and it's funny because, like what he's talking about was one time I went to one of the races and I hit their tire guy I'm friends with. And so I walked up to him, I was like, what happened to him? I see our boy's in a bit of a mood. And so it's, they like to poke each other, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Top 3 favorite tracks. So obviously Martinsville's number 1 because that's your favorite track. What are your other 2 favorite ones? Like if you had to say 2 more, would it be Dover?
I would say Dover is one because that's my
my
home track. I would like to win there once.
Yeah.
But I'll take the Martinsville win over any of them.
Yeah. And then what would be your third? So Dover and Martinsville. So you got a short track and you got a speedway. No, we're not a speedway. Yeah. So, okay. Dega, Daytona.
I don't know how I like both them. Yeah, I would probably say Talladega because it's pretty cool to watch.
Yeah. Oh, let's see here. Do drivers help each other?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like when we're unloading and stuff, we'll help each other push our toolboxes because those things are, they're a couple 1,000 pounds and we're pulling them. And when we're on the weekends by ourselves, we help, like us 4 SHR drivers.
Help each other out.
Yeah, like usually us and the 4 work together and then usually the 10 and the 41, those 2 will work together.
Yeah.
And then we all, a lot of times we'll pull one toolbox off at a time and one will pull and 3 of us will push it. We'll do that for each other.
Yeah. The 4 teams of SHR, the haulers all work together very well.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that's cool is that even though they are technically competitors, even though it's the same team, but competitor, it's kind of a weird thing. The haulers all work together really well. Yes, Jared, I am guilty by association. So yes, and because I can give it just as well as I can take it, I fit right on in with them. So Indy's tunnel is crazy. I've seen a few trucks hit the top of the tunnel.
Yeah, it's tight. It's tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tight.
Let's see here. Bristol can be a pain in the ass.
Pretty much.
Let's see.
It's an understatement.
Yeah. Is Chase's wife cool? She's very cool. Yeah. They're
both.
They're just very down to earth, which is nice. There's no pretense. There's no There's nothing other than just two down-to-earth people that are humble. So that's very cool. How many backup cars does SHR take to the races?
2.
Got 2, so hopefully, if you do wreck, you're one of the first 2, because if not, you're fucked. Let's see. Got to go in straight for sure. Absolutely.
Yep.
Do you use GPS to drive to the tracks?
No.
So literally, I can say to him, I could pick any track out there, and he can literally give me off memory every road that he has to take, every interstate, which way, how long it's going to take.
I had someone ask me about how I come home from Watkins Glen. I was like 16, 414, 86, 99, 15, 22, 81, 77.
Yeah, so clearly he knows his roads very well. So that definitely...
No, I don't. I just know how to get to them all by heart, so...
Yeah. Let's see here.
I'll look at a GPS to make sure make sure the interstate. I'll kind of, if I'm somewhere, I'll pull up my phone and look, and see if there's a, all right, it's green, so I'm good, and I'll flip it off, and I'm good.
Yeah.
But
The only time you ever look is just to see if there's traffic.
Yeah, but typically going to a racetrack, I don't ever use a GPS.
Nah.
And I know where, where you're going for a year, so.
Yeah. Time to kind of research if you needed to. Just curious, do you have a certain truck you drive? Yep. It's the 14. The 14 truck, because he drives the 14, so his 14 hauler, that's the only truck he'll drive through the whole
that's the
season.
team we're on.
Yeah. How do you like Kansas track, the ingress and egress?
What's up?
Coming in and out of the Kansas track, how do you like it?
No, not bad.
Doesn't bother you?
No.
Guess it's fine. My first year I turned 21, me and my uncle made a drinking game. If we saw a trailer hit, we would take a drink.
Oh, well.
I hope you didn't get too messed up on that one.
Yeah, I hope not.
Do y'all travel and stop together, the different haulers?
Oh, that's not. I was by myself.
Yeah, typically they don't. Now they will talk to each other.
We'll call each other, but
yeah.
I mean, because we all leave at different times.
Yeah, so they'll leave. They won't wait for each other to be finished. So, like, if his car's the first one loaded, they're gone. Or the last one.
Or sometimes we'll sit there and say, the other, just say group. Just say one of them was like, let's we're leaving in the morning. Well, hell, we're not. We want to be home. We're not. If we get there in plenty of time, we're not leaving till 8:00 tonight.
Well, and it depends on where you're going to, because some of the guys, if the truck's ready or the car's ready, they might want to go to that city and go do something, right? Where sometimes they don't. They want to get there and just get parked and do what they need to do. So it kind of just depends on what the track is, when the car's ready. There's just so many variations that they just never.
I mean, there's times where they're 4 or 5 hours. We're 4 or 5 hours ahead of some of them, or or 4 or 5 hours behind them.
Yeah.
It's just it all depends, but and then too, like, if some of them may need fuel before you do, so you just keep going, and then after a while everybody just breaks up.
Yeah. Does the DOT ever mess with you? So they don't ever mess with them, typically.
Not usually. No.
Because, I mean, they're doing everything by the book, right? So they don't really mess with them. However, they do sometimes like to stop you, to take a picture, to look inside, to get a hat. So
I always we carry a sleeve of hats next to
there's
the
DOT side, hats and stuff, just in case, because you want to keep DOT happy.
Yeah.
But no, they don't ever, mess with, like, in a bad way.
Not you. I mean, they will if you're driving like an idiot.
Well, if you're driving like an idiot, you deserve to be messed with. It's not messing with, it's doing with their job. But
yeah, but typically, no, we don't usually have many problems with them. Instead, if we get stopped, it's usually for like a picture, or some of them want to see the inside of the trailer, and we'll just show them take them up and show them the inside of the trailer, because typically I don't do that, but DOT,
Yeah,
go ahead, do
DOT, whatever
go
you
for it,
want.
man.
We're happy to help you.
And because I've had a lot of people like at truck stops say, "Can I look inside?" I always say no, because I'm not getting it if somebody falls, or I'm not getting into any kind of liability stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's things you have to worry about.
I mean, if somebody's there, I'll say, well, and because I always check all the stuff whenever I stop, and the side doors, open. I just say, well, you can peek your head in, but that's as far as you can go.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like anything else. If you're at
And I don't, and personally, with some of the whack job people out there nowadays, I don't, I'm not letting somebody in my trailer.
No, there's a lot of money worth of stuff in there.
Yeah,
no. Let's see. Will you have to use it? Will you have to use it to get to Chicago for the Chicago street race? I guess the GPS.
I don't use it at all.
Yeah, he won't.
I know how to get to Chicago.
Well, see, they used to race in Joliet.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean...
it's 45 minutes, but no. Because even when we went to, Road America up there, that was in Wisconsin. You had to go through Chicago going up there, so... No, I don't use I never use a GPS.
Leah asked if they do wreck if they wreck a car, do they wrap at the track?
Mm-hmm.
So they have an extra wrap.
I carry a wrap every week.
Okay, so, okay.
Yep. Yeah, there's we have a wrap every week on the truck.
Just
and
an
if
extra.
it's used, there'll be a new one sitting in the shop.
How often does that happen?
Whenever we gotta hit the wall or something. I mean, if it's on race day, you don't.
No, of course.
If anything in practice like that, like with that deal we had at the Clash there, we had to wrap the front.
Yes, that was not fun. Let's see. Who would you like to see in the 4-car next year?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? It'll be interesting.
That's another one
He won't say. So you only had to drink 2, Brandon, right? 2 that year. That's funny. Let's see here. What else? There was another question I wanted. What street is the entrance on for Fontana?
Oh. It's on Cherry Avenue.
So, Devin, is that right? Not Devin, I'm sorry. Charles, is that right? Cherry Avenue. Well, I'm sure it is, because...
Cherry Avenue, exit. Get off the ramp from 10. If you're coming from 10, from 20 to 10, get off top of the ramp, make a right, go down a couple lights, and the track is on the left-hand side. The big, everything says Auto Club Speedway.
So, yeah, see, he can tell you literally how to get to any track.
Then you go down and around the bend and over there, and we park in the stage in the big lot right in front of the main grandstands.
So, see, he can do that. But he can't tell you where his keys are right now, I'm sure.
No.
That's my responsibility to know that kind of stuff. No, there is 2 haulers per team.
Huh?
2 hauler drivers per team.
Oh, 2. I was like 2. No,
not 2 haulers. One truck, 2 drivers.
Yeah,
per
one
team.
truck, 2 drivers. Yeah. I was like, damn, we have 2 trucks?
Yeah, I forgot to tell you, you guys have 2 trucks now. Congratulations. How do cross-country trips work? 2 drivers all the way or a night sleep? All the way.
All the way.
They stop, they swap out, and keep on trucking.
Yep.
So
we're fortunate enough we have showers in our sleepers, so
yeah, so literally they
stop
shower
fuel,
while they're going.
We stop for fuel, we swap out, get a coffee, grab a bite, and go.
Yeah, so when you do see his TikToks where they're getting fuel, like that's the only time he's outside of that truck until he gets to wherever they're going. So yeah,
because I don't in that first 8 hours, I don't stop until about 7 hours and 45 minutes is into that 8 hours.
Yeah. Brandon, good talking to you too. Thanks, bud. We appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Charles, yeah, 1000% correct. See, there you go. You nailed it. Oh, here they come now. What street does the Hollows come out in Darlington?
What is that? 50? Is it 58? 52. 52.
See, now they're gonna start.
Oh hell, hell, but getting to them by heart and knowing the names of the streets is a little different though.
Well, yeah, that's very true. I can drive most places, but I couldn't tell you the first freaking street.
But I know for a fact Fontana's Cherry Avenue.
Well, he said you were 1,000% correct, so
Yes,
there you go.
indeed I was.
Yeah, Jared, Tony would not approve of 2 trucks per team. Probably not.
Probably not.
And I can appreciate that. Oh, do you know the exit number for getting into Talladega? Sorry, I just think it's funny. This should be like a whole game show thing. Like, try to stump Rob on the streets and stuff. What is the street in front of IMS?
Hell if I know. I just know where it is. Speedway Boulevard.
There you go. Ethan wants to know, how hard is it to get out when the dirt is on Bristol?
Hope it ain't wet. And last year it was.
Yeah.
Hammer it.
Yeah, hammer it. That's all you can
Don't
do.
let off.
Yeah. What street is the parade for in Atlanta? You guys are cracking me up. I like this. Did you drive for Clint? Yep, he drove for Clint and won in Martinsville with Clint. So, yeah he had the opportunity to drive with Boyer. Do you ever go to Richmond?
Yes. I go to one of them this year, I think.
This year one, yeah. Richmond's one of those where...
Let me see. My list is right here.
He's going to go get a list. So, yeah, Richmond is one of those where they both kind of like to go, so they typically will split it, or that's one of those where if somebody has something that weekend, that one's kind of a little bit easy. Like they kind of figure it out between them.
Yeah, I'm at the first Richmond.
Yep, he'll be at the first Richmond. Would you go?
See, that's a sheet that we do.
Yeah,
that's every race.
That's what they do.
And we just give it to our crew chief.
And then I have to make it into something that I can actually read, because we know a year out now where he's going to be every weekend. So yeah. Oh, I live 8 miles from Richmond.
Awesome.
So does some of my family. Do you cook for the team on the weekends? Always heard the hauler driver's responsible for it. That is true for some of the teams. Your first team you were on, Roush, he did have to cook for them. The bigger teams have their own chefs, and so they'll set up a tent, and the chef will take care of all the teams. So, like, there's one chef for the 4 teams for SHR, and they just set up basically a buffet every day. There's grill, so it's great, and the food's for the guys that work there, the sponsors, people like that. So it's a good group. Golden Gun wants to know, who do you drive for? Clint Boyer.
Chase Briscoe.
Chase Briscoe. I just saw Clint Boyer up on the thing. He did drive for Clint. Now he drives for Chase. He basically stayed with the 14 car, Tony, Clint, and then Chase. So with ThirstSport, it depends on track for if the hauler cooks or not. But it alternates between the drivers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some of the Xfinity teams probably cook still, and I guess the truck series, I'd imagine, I guess. Yeah, because we're not with them all the time, or the truck series, so I don't know a whole lot.
Yeah. Well, and he can tell he did cook for Roush, so he can tell you how to make a mean pizza on a grill, hamburgers, hot dogs. That's about it, right? That's usually what you cook for them?
Yeah.
So, and they were lucky to get whatever he gave them. If they didn't like it, that was too bad.
I told them there's 43 other trucks in here. They can go
find something else.
That's exactly what I told them, too.
Did you
what was another time I did? Well, we're having hot dogs again? Well, they had fucking hot dogs the next 3 weeks.
Yeah. You don't mess with the hauler drivers if they are cooking, because they can really fuck with you.
There's been hauler drivers that have dumped the food in the garbage. Said, fuck it, if you don't want to eat it, they've dumped the food in the garbage. Said, go use your per diem, then go eat.
Yeah, you know what? The hell with it. you guys have a job to do too, and it's not
It was
catering to
funnier,
their asses.
funnier than shit when it happened too, because it was only like 2 trucks down.
Yeah.
He was just like, oh, when they were getting pissed off because smoke was getting in the trailer from the grill. He goes, man, keep that door shut. There's getting smoke in here. 10-4.
There goes the grill.
Dumped everything in the grill.
No more smoke.
He goes, you said you wanted the fucking smoke to stop, so it stopped.
Yeah.
He goes, now go find food.
Exactly. Some people can be big babies. Let's just leave it at that. Yeah, I know that's not fair. What rig did you drive with Roush?
I was with 17.
7, yeah. So, did you ever have a beer with Clint?
Did I?
I don't know if you ever had a beer. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I mean, technically, when we were at Harvick's thing, Clint was there.
Yeah. I guess
And we had a beer, and he had a beer, so.
Yeah.
Technically. So, yes and no. But yes, he does have stories, which he'll never be able to share.
You.
Yeah, that's one of those things where it's like what happens at the race happens at the race. Apparently, the Waffle House is the place to go eat.
I spent a lot of time at the Waffle House.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Back in, because now they're not the crazy hours like we used to have.
Yeah.
Waffle House usually had Waffle House or Denny's had our names written on, or IHOP, because they were all open late.
Yeah, it used to be when he first got into it. I mean, they were working 14, 16 hours.
A day, yeah.
Yeah, on, practice day, qualify, and all that. So, it's not like that anymore, thankfully. It's definitely not quite as hard as it used to be in that regard. Favorite all-time driver of all time? Ooh.
Mark Martin.
Mark Martin. So that's who he grew up.
Yeah, I knew Ryder.
Oh, Ryder? What? Oh. Being with Roush, obviously, yeah. Yep, Ryder. How do you get to Homestead?
95.
Straight down.
95, then you get on Turnpike, go down to the last exit, get off, weave your way over, and the track sits right there.
There you go. People get, what? Oh, geez, Shad. People get shot or stabbed at our Waffle House. Wow, well, don't go there then.
Yeah.
Wow. Doing Inspired, good evening, eh? How's it going? But this is so interesting. Thanks for talking.
I saw one up there that, when we're at the track, we're at a hotel.
Yeah, so the holidays, everybody will stay at a hotel.
Now, like, some nights, like, when I get there, and some nights we'll park, just say we're parking Friday morning. I'll get there Thursday afternoon. A lot of times I'll just stay in the truck Thursday night. Well,
because, if you have to get up early or something,
if we park Friday night and we go in, if we park during the day, I'll go back to the hotel. But if we park sometimes we don't park till 8 o'clock at night. So a lot of times those nights I'll just stay in the truck because
you have everything you need. You have a kitchen, you have a shower, you have a bathroom, you have...
And then, the trailer's already unloaded, so I can...
A few extra minutes of sleep.
A few extra minutes of sleep, and then I can, cook something in the trailer or whatever I want to do.
Yeah. Let's see. I work at Talladega, and I lead y'all out after the race.
Oh, wow.
Very cool. Let's see. Iowa doesn't have a Waffle House.
The last time I went in Talladega, I didn't need to get let out because we wrecked out on lap 20.
That was when you got out early.
Yes. We wrecked out on lap 20, so I didn't have to have anybody lead me out.
Yeah, that sucked. Well, yeah, it sucked, but then you also got home earlier.
Yeah, and then that happened at Daytona when they had the red flag. Mm-hmm. And then they were like, well, if today wasn't your day, being we're under red flag, if it wasn't your day, you can go ahead and leave. And reverse that damn thing went.
Yeah, he was almost back to back to the shop before the race was over.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, I was, when the other other trucks got out, I was in Columbia, South Carolina, and they were just getting out of the racetrack.
Mm-hmm. Big Red wants to know, with the logs, how do you handle rain delays?
Hey.
You just do what you got to do.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say about that one. My favorite
Yeah.
drivers were Mark Martin, Carl Edwards, and now Logano.
Okay.
Nice. Let's see here. Favorite track to go to would be, Martinsville, because it's only minutes from our house, so it's very convenient. First NASCAR race I ever went to was Mark Martin one. Which one was that? There was many of them, but what race was it?
What the first one?
So it said first NASCAR race that Steven ever went to was a Mark Martin won that race. Cool. Yeah. So what was it about Mark that you just?
I don't know.
You're just young and you just really liked him.
Yeah, just liked him.
Did he have an attitude or?
No, God, no. Not at all.
Yeah. Do you know Ryan Blaney?
We kind of know all of them.
Yeah, so because they're together every weekend.
I don't know him personally, but you know everybody well enough to say, hey, when you speak to everybody.
Yeah, they all recognize each other and they all know that, so that's pretty cool. What do drivers do during the week?
The drivers?
Drivers or the hauler drivers?
I have no clue what they do during the week.
Yeah.
If it's the driver, I don't know what they do during the week.
If it's the hauler drivers,
we work.
Yeah, they're still working. They're getting everything ready. They're on the road.
But as far as the drivers, I'm sure sometimes they have appearances and all that they got to do and sponsor stuff. But Chase does come to the shop some, so I'll see him there some.
Yeah. How do you get started? Oh, let's see. Rain delays are the worst. Talladega caution-free race 95.
Oh God, yeah, that's the record race for average speed was the record because there wasn't any cautions.
The whole race was no caution. How is that even possible?
It's possible because it happened because I remember watching it.
That's crazy.
I was in high school.
Yeah, you would have been in high school if it was 95, 96. I was there to see Mark Martin win his last race. Oh, nice.
Yeah, awesome.
Double J, yes, he works for Smoke. He was Smoke's driver, and then now he works for Smoke as his boss.
Yeah.
Again, still. How many hours do you guys work a day? It depends on if he's driving or if he's at the racetrack or...
At the shop, it all depends. Sometimes we're there 8 hours. Sometimes we're there, 2 or 3?
Yeah.
Some days I'm not there at all.
Yeah, it really just depends on the race and where they're going and when they need to be there. Met Chase at Bristol last spring. Nice guy. Took a picture with my daughter and signed some stuff for her. Yeah.
Yeah, Chase is great.
He's very good. He's a really good guy. Are you a truck driver? Yeah, he drives the hauler for the 14, Stuart Haas's 14, so for Chase Briscoe. So, I went to a Dega race in 01 or 02 that was a caution-free Junior 1. So there's been more than one caution-free.
Yeah, I don't remember them.
Yeah.
I only remember the other one because Mark won.
Yeah, well, of course.
And I've seen so many races, hell, I don't even know. I've been to a few races and Mark won back in the day.
Yeah. Bradley, the Briscoe family's just downright amazing.
Yes, they are.
We agree. I live in the same city as Donnie Schatz.
Cool. It's one of Tony's sprint car drivers.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know. Am I being...
Full spring? No, I don't do spring. Just NASCAR.
Yeah. Towing Inspire, am I being skipped or my message is not going through? Don't know. Towing. So there's a lot of stuff going through, so we're trying to go through and read each one. But sometimes the messages when they're coming over, it skips a whole thing.
Yeah,
so,
no, I lose spots.
Yeah, so we're trying to get to everybody's comments and things. So definitely, if you have a question, send it again because it's very possible we just missed it. Big Red, have a great night. Keep it sunny side up. Aw, thank you. Let's see. I met Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson, and my stepson is Chase Briscoe. I am friends with Donnie. And my stepson
probably met Chase Briscoe.
Oh, and my stepson met. Oh, very cool. Let's see. Are you allowed to travel together? We are.
When it's one where we go.
Yeah, it depends on the rate. If it's him and his co-driver have to drive the hauler, then I can go, but I would just go separate. I can ride if I want to, but we like to have. When I'm there, we like to have a vehicle so that way we don't have to use the rental car. The other guys can use the rental car or whatever. So, so basically, I typically don't go with him unless it's something that's close by and it's fine. So, let's see.
When do you leave? We leave tomorrow for California.
Yep, leave tomorrow for Fontana. Who's asked? Do you have to kiss to get a transported job? Good luck with that. Can't tell you who's asked to kiss. It's just a matter of who you know. Who you know, unfortunately. Have you met Superman?
Who?
It says, have you met Superman?
Don't know. Don't know Superman.
Don't know Superman. SHR. Oh. See you in Phoenix.
Fucking good, absolutely.
Oh.
Stepson is a fan of Chase Briscoe and wants to meet him.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Chase is he's a great guy. Oh, Jimmy. Jimmy Superman. Okay, so my story about Jimmy Johnson is...
Yeah,
so we definitely... So my... when we first... Actually, the day we got engaged, we were at a party with... Kevin Harvick was having a party, and he had gone to the bathroom or something, and so I was just standing there talking to this guy, and... when Rob came up, and he said bye, and I just walked over, and it was with Rob, and he's like, oh, do you know who you're talking to? And I said, not a clue. And he's like, oh, that's Jimmy Johnson. Well, I'm a big football fan, so I was like, that is not the Cowboys coach. Sorry. And
I just kind of looked at
which, of course, then he looked at me like I was the stupidest thing ever. And so then he came up, brought me over to be introduced and get my picture. And so I felt like a complete freaking asshole at that point. But yeah, we have met Jimmy. Let's see here. Big Daddy, how do you get started in this career? It's a matter of who you know. There's not a lot of changeover, and so when something does pop up, it's usually like real quick they need somebody, and they'll just, oh, do you know somebody that can drive? And they'll just, it's somebody that you know. That's how he got the job. Unfortunately,
that's the best I can.
It's not like they promote it. They don't put it out there on websites. They don't. It's
at least the big teams, unless you know someone, you'll never really know they're looking for anyone.
Yeah.
Because usually it's like, hey, we want to come drive with me, because that's usually how it works.
Yeah. So the best thing you can do is just get to know the drivers, I guess. That's the only kind of, and that's even that's hard to do. I'd love to, let's see, I partied with Stenhouse back in the USAC days. Does that count? It does count. Have you met Eric Jones or Noah Grayson?
Yeah.
We have. Chase Bristol gave me an autograph for my tattoo. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very good guy. What music do you listen to on the road?
Rock.
Yes. So you can always kind of tell the difference between when he posts the TikToks and when I post his videos for him. Because his are like Korn and like Slipknot and like that kind of stuff. And mine's more of whatever's kind of trending in TikTok. So
I put songs I like because it says, what does it say on there? Something that matches like the pictures. Right. I find songs I like.
Yeah. So like when he did, what was that? Was it Vegas that you did the parade where they announced you?
That was Charlotte.
Charlotte, that's right. I keep saying Vegas for something. So the Charlotte parade, he got, when they would announce the haulers, they would announce their name, and then he got to pick his entrance song. And so we actually have a TikTok of how they announced it. But yeah, he picked Korn. So they were talking about it as they were talking about him. Woo!
That was, they were like, wow, that's something you don't hear.
My old TikTok had pictures from HMS when I had a picture of Larson and Grayson's victories. Oh, very cool. Slipknot definitely could drink a beer with you. Yeah. What's one track you want to go to on the Xfinity or truck side that you would want to visit? Like if you went to an Xfinity or a truck race, which track would you want to go to that you don't already go to? That's a really good question.
That actually is.
Good question. You might have to think about that one for a minute.
I gotta think about that. Maybe Iowa.
Yeah.
Because I've been through Iowa a ton, but I've never really stayed there or anything like that. And I could, I
Yeah.
guess, of course, there's nothing in Iowa anyway, but.
Well, isn't there the biggest truck
Yeah,
stop in the
Iowa,
world
yeah.
or the U.S. or whatever? So what else could you want in life? What driver do you guys haul for?
Yeah, Raceway Park would be a good one.
Where's that?
Indy.
Yeah. What driver do you guys drive for? He drives for Chase Briscoe, the 14 with Stuart Haas. Can't wait for Pocono, Daytona, and HMS this year. I'm hoping to work security for them. So, are you working? You're working Pocono? No. Are you working Pocono?
Yeah.
Are you working HMS? I don't remember. Literally, we have it in our calendar because we share an online calendar, so we know, like, I know what state he's going to be in at any given time, and he knows what wedding I'm going to be at, where I'm going to be any weekend. So, we definitely have a crazy life. What's the what's the number one food you crave when you're on the road? Depends on where he's going.
Yeah.
So, Fontana, what are you going to have?
Probably Del Taco.
So it depends on where he goes. He likes Del Taco when he goes out to the West Coast.
I like Blaney.
When you go to Texas.
Salt on Blaney. I like Blaney.
Yeah, you like Blaney. When you go to Texas, you get barbecue.
I get barbecue.
Martinsville, he gets Martinsville hot dogs. So it kind of depends on where he's going as to that. But he does have his, like, his mixed nuts and, like, chippy things and things like that in the hauler.
Yeah.
So, ask Chase about Knoxville Nationals, Iowa has that. Very cool. I work BCM security, the blue uniforms. Oh, very cool.
Cool.
So, we'll make sure he doesn't get in trouble. Actually, I'm more likely to be the one to get in trouble. Let's see. But yeah, I'm excited about North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, I am too. I'm just not going.
He's just not going to it. He doesn't have to work that race, and it's only
about an hour from here.
Yeah, I would say it's not far from us at all. So it has been kind of cool seeing the them renovating it and getting it back to its its glory. I mean, it's not going to be exactly the same as it used to be, but pretty. I know they're keeping. I think there's like one or two little parts of the buildings that they kept the same. A lot of it they had to level and redo. So
yeah.
So it's woo, almost lost their thing. Let's see. How hard is it to get on to a NASCAR hauler? Like we've talked about many times, it definitely is hard. It's just a matter of
who you know
and getting to know the people. What do you do at the track after you get things set up?
Wait for the garage to open or go to the hotel. I mean, that's if the garage doesn't open the same day. Because some nights we unload and set up the night before the garage opens. So if we set up, after we set up, we're done that night. And if it's during the day, we just go on with our regular stuff.
Yeah.
Getting everything, doing what we normally do.
Right. Towing, any chance on getting an autograph photo from Hendrick drivers? We don't have any say-so with the Hendrick drivers, so can't really help you on that one.
No.
Is driving into Bristol as tense as it looks?
Not really anymore. It was the first time I did it, I guess. But
Yeah.
that was
that was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
I think it's probably tense for anybody that is, their first time or whatever.
Any of them are the first time because you don't know what you're getting yourself into.
Well, and you don't want to make a fool of yourself in front of everybody.
Who cares?
Huh?
Like I said, who cares?
Yeah, but I get, like, if you're new, your first year, you don't want to be the rookie that, crashed into a building.
Yeah.
So, do you set up the pit equipment?
Not the pit stop stuff, no.
Yeah, the guys do that. He'll work pit. He'll work on the other. He'll work on the other side of the wall. Either him or his co-driver, but he won't set up the pit stuff. Which hauler do you drive? Drive the 14 hauler. So for Chase Briscoe, for Stuart Haas. So.
Yep.
How do I get on as a hauler? I know I wish that we could give better answers than we do when it comes to how to kind of get into it. Unfortunately, there is no good answer. It's literally a matter of who you know, and there isn't a lot of turnover. And they usually
just usually by word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Yep.
Yeah. When y'all do work at the track, do you get to on duty on your logs?
Yeah, I mean, you do. like I said, when you work on race day, when you're the ones you do by yourself, we don't come in until the race starts when we work on pit road because it's always something close enough to where you can log it and still get back.
Yeah.
Because you got 14 hours, and usually, the ones that we go to complete weekends by ourselves are only, at the max 5 hours away, or 6. So that would, you figure 3 to 3.5 hours. Even if the race went 4 hours and 6, you still got 10. You still got up to 14 hours to get back, or 11 hours driving, but you got 14 hours a day you can work.
Yeah. When do you leave tomorrow?
Yep, tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon sometime.
Yeah, we just gotta wait for the car to get loaded in. So it's whenever the engineer and stuff gets done with the car, ready for it, they'll load it in the hauler, close the back door, and
off we go.
Off they go. Have you ever been to Rockingham?
Yes, I was at the last race at Rockingham.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another one it'd be nice to see it come back.
Yep.
It'd be nice for that town to see it come back.
Yeah.
Because I know that kind of lost it. So how long from Daytona to Fontana?
From that I don't know.
So what happens is
we come back to the shop.
Yes, they go Daytona back to Charlotte to the shop.
Only time we go from track to track is the 3 races that were out there.
The West Coast Swing.
Yep, we're all after every race we come back to the shop. We don't ever come. We don't ever come back. Go track to track other than out there.
Do you have to stop at the truck scales?
Yes.
Same rules, same DOT rules, nothing different. Miss Rooster.
Yeah, Rooster. He's one of the truck drivers.
Oh, okay. I was like, you miss Rooster.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying like Mrs. Rooster.
No.
I was like, wow, that's a random statement. Are you looking forward to going to Wilkesboro? He's not working that race, so he's not going to go to it. But we'll definitely watch it on TV. We'll go live when they're racing it. Can I get let's see. Hey Cubs fan. Hey, how you doing? That's a lot to haul for 3 races. That a lot to haul for 3 races. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. But they do the swap out truck, so there's the 6 cars coming a different one.
Yep.
Do y'all have a 18 speed or 13 or auto?
18 speed.
So, yeah. So, definitely, I'm gonna have to get him. We got to go pack up for him because he's leaving tomorrow for Fontana. So we're gonna go ahead and Southern Savage. He drives for the 14 for Chase Briscoe for Stuart Haas. So we will definitely. So I go live on race day, and what I do is we watch the race obviously when I'm here at home on the TV. So I'll have it so it watches that, but then I also have the scanner so you can hear what's happening with Chase's team. So it's kind of a cool thing for you guys to jump on board and listen in.
Like last week, don't listen to it.
I know. Well, yeah. So kind of the thing with me on the Daytona or the race at Daytona was every time I had Chase on, obviously then once he wrecked, then I would do some of the other ones based on who everybody wanted to listen to. And pretty much every time I chose, we would choose one to listen to, they would wreck out or they would get pushed back or whatever. So it got to be kind of a joke as to, they would say, hey, put so-and-so on specifically so we can get them out of the race. So, but anyway, I would love for you guys to kind of hang out with us for that. So,
hello from Arkansas.
Hey from Arkansas. Do y'all have race cars?
No, I haul in NASCAR.
Yeah, the NASCAR.
Yeah, I don't have them, but
yeah, no, we don't own them. I just
drive for Stuart Haas.
Drive for Stuart Haas. I love all the dirt drivers in NASCAR.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, it's very cool. Is Bones still driving?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Are you? Yep, he is. Are you coming to St. Louis? Are you working St. Louis? I don't remember if he's working that one or not.
Don't know either.
Aw, thank you for thanking us for getting his car there. Let's see. What time are you leaving tomorrow? Probably.
Yeah. Yes, I'm working St. Louis.
So he'll be at St. Louis. So if you're at the St. Louis race, all you gotta do is look at the 14 pit stop, and you will see him working.
No problem for answering.
Oh, of course. What time you're leaving tomorrow? As soon as that car is ready, but probably be late afternoon if we were to kind of put a time frame-ish. And that's a big ish.
My co-driver said he called me around lunchtime, so
Yeah.
Because I'm not going in the morning.
He's driving first out, so his co-driver will go in, finish up what's left to be finished in the hauler, and then he'll go up and go ahead and get on the road. So, is the old drive for the Go Fast? I don't understand. Are you going
to?
to?
An old driver for Go Fast driver.
Are you going to go to Phoenix? Yep, he'll be at Phoenix, and he'll be working Phoenix, so you'll be able to see him there.
Yep.
And Martinsville, same thing. So you'll see him there. How is it to work for Tony? Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yep.
Rob worked for him both as his driver when Tony was a driver, and then since then for Stuart Haas. So as his boss.
Yeah.
So be safe, driver.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So, all right, guys. Well, we're gonna have to get off here. He needs to get packed for Fontana for the West Coast Swing. So,
fun times.
Yeah. So we will definitely see you guys. We really appreciate you guys hanging out with us and all that. On the way to Fontana, will you stop in Arizona at all?
What's that?
Will you drive through Arizona to get to Fontana?
Yep. It depends on which way. Yeah. I mean,
it depends on the weather.
Well. I mean, we go through it either way.
Yeah.
40, you go through Flagstaff, or you go down through 10 through Phoenix. So.
Do you get a ring if one of the drivers wins Daytona?
Yeah, yes. I actually have one.
We have a ring, so we do have a 500 ring, which is really cool. So,
right out there.
Yep. Big Country, be careful. Absolutely. And we love smoke too, so. It sounds weird. I love smoke. But yeah. We love smoke. So, guys, thank you for everything. And we will go live as much as we possibly can through the season. And then, but definitely check out our TikTok videos. He posts them every chance he gets, so you can kind of see what the behind the scenes looks like. So, really...
Do you like taking 80?
We really enjoy that. Do you like taking 80?
I only go on 80 when we go out to Sonoma.
Yeah, but is it a pretty drive?
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah.
80, once you get on 80, you just...
Stay on 80.
Stay on 80 all the way out to Sacramento.
Just keep on going. Keep on
getting it. You just keep on getting her done.
So, all right, guys. Thank you so much. And we will definitely... go live as much as we can through the season. So, and definitely keep sending questions. We love, part of, I got hiccups all of a sudden. What we're trying to show is what life's like kind of behind the scenes, but from a real standpoint, not so much from that TV type, all that kind of show. The good and the bad. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's really hard. So that's our whole goal, is to kind of show you guys what it's like as a couple going through season. So that's all.
You would say, what's home time like?
Yep.
It all depends.
Yep.
The home time?
Yeah, home time.
All depends. Better than it used to be. I'm home I'm home every week, normally.
Yeah, we have a couple days every week together, typically. This West Coast Swing, we won't. No. That's always a harder one. It's better now than it used to be when he first started and we were together. He would be gone for several weeks at a time. But it's not as bad anymore, especially now that they fly on back and forth sometimes. So that helps too.
Yes. So
we definitely get more time, but we've never known life any different. When we first started talking, he was already in NASCAR. I was a morning show host up in Baltimore, so we didn't even live in the same state. So we never had a 9-to-5 life together. So
no,
still don't. So
still don't. No, we still do not.
I think those are all older ones now. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate all of it. Does the whole SHR get a ring if one drives? Yep. Yep. Everybody does. On the drive go live, he won't go live when he's driving. That's just his.
That's one I don't.
He's a safety.
I've had several people in here tell me, well, this driver does it, that driver does it. And my answer, it may not sound right. Well, good for them, because I don't. Yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, it's his career.
I very rarely go live unless I'm home.
Typically, he'll go live when he's with me. So.
No, my co-driver, he won't do it either. He don't even have one.
Yeah, his co-driver's not very tech savvy in that way.
Yeah. Neither am I, really, but
you're getting better.
I'm getting better at it.
Yeah, you're learning.
He's not.
So yeah, usually I'm having to help him out. we'll just kind of leave it at that. So, but there's lots of times where if you have questions or anything, and even when I'm going live with, I can answer them for you guys, or I can get the answers for you. Either way. So if you do have questions, send them to us, and we definitely will make sure they get answered.
I know I have a ton of them on there, and I will get to them as quick as I can. I've tried to answer some today, but I ended up falling asleep on the couch while I was trying to answer them. So, but at some point this week, I will have them done, and or go through them like when I get done driving, when I'm in my decompressed mode, laying in the sleeper, sitting down. I'll go through and answer some then, and hopefully I'll have them. I mean, I'll probably have 25 million more when I'm trying to get these done.
Answered.
But I have them. I know which ones where I left off. I can tell where I've left off. So
well, it's important to us that if you guys take the time to ask us a question, we want to take the time to be able to get you the answer. And it might not be the answer you like, or that there's some things we can't answer. But overall, what's most important is that if you guys take the time, we want to take the time and give it back to you. So
that's why when I know I get a ton of questions about how do you get in racing, that's why I kind of do. I don't answer a lot of that on there, but I'll do it here. You know what I mean? I'll do it in person versus
there's things that there's things that they can talk about and can't talk about. It's just as with anything else.
And it's I mean, anybody can type. Even though when you type it, I have typed it before. It's just all about who you know with getting in the sport, but. Yeah. That's all it gives me. Well, that's all I can. That's honestly all I can tell you. I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen, but it's very hard to just walk in and get a job doing it.
It's a professional sport, as with any other professional sport, and it's just like you couldn't walk onto a pro football team just off the blue. It's kind of, there's things that have it just kind of it works similar. Will you be in Chicago? He'll be in Chicago. He just won't be working that race. And still stopping in Arizona to get rim shined.
Yes. Yeah. God. Hell, we were just there and I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, so yes, he does.
Yeah. We stopped out, got everything done when we went to LA, and then they'll come do them again when we're in Phoenix, because the truck will sit for a few days. It'll just sit in the lot over there where we stage them, where we stage ours at.
Right.
And it'll just sit in a lot, and they'll come in and wash it and then polish and all that good stuff.
Speedy wants to know what happened to the show cars. You don't see them much anymore.
I don't know, because that's a different, like at SHR. It's a completely different department than our transportation, than this transportation. It's not. They're in the other building, so
yeah. So no idea.
I really don't know much about it other than when I see them bringing a show car out and loading it every once in a while. I don't really know a whole lot. Sometimes they'll be at the hotel where we're at if they're kind of out where we are.
Yeah. And in Phoenix, what hotel will the truck be at so I can see it? It won't be.
It's not at a hotel.
The trucks get parked usually.
We park it at a certain.
Like there's certain different areas that are usually locked down that they park them at because they got to keep everything safe.
Yep.
So it depends on the track, but it's a different areas at each track. But it doesn't stay at the hotel. In fact, they never even ever bring it there to a hotel. So, all right, guys. Well, we definitely need to go. I need to get him. He needs to get packed because he's leaving tomorrow for the West Coast. So, don't tell him.
What's that?
Yeah. Still. Oh, yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for everything. We really do appreciate it. If you liked this, we'd love for you guys to kind of follow us and get through the whole season, and you'll get to see kind of all the behind the scenes, and hopefully you'll be able to see some wins. We would love that. So fingers crossed that we have a great season, and that we have a couple of wins, and that we make it to the championship again. Well, they make it
Chase.
The Chase, I mean. So,
Almost
made the championship, but
almost made that race.
we were just that far outside.
Couple laps left. We may have had it.
We would have made it. So you guys have a good night. You guys be safe out there, and we will definitely be going live soon again. So keep your questions coming, and we look forward to it. Thanks, guys.
See ya.